The following is a live presentation of CBC Sports.
Strange fascination fascinating me. Our changes are taking the base I'm going through. Changes and face the strange changes. Oh, look out, you rock and rollers. Changes and face the strange changes. Pretty soon now you're gonna get older. Time may change me, but I can't trace time. I said that time may change me, but I can't trace time.
Yes, change is surely the theme of the 1997-98 NHL season. There are 10 teams with new head coaches, 7 teams with new general managers. One team has a new city in which to play. Lots of players have new sweaters, and as you know, for all the changes, still a few other players are looking for a little extra change. Good evening, and welcome to Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. I'm Ron McLean. The NHL's 81st season is nicely underway, and for those of us at Hockey Night in Canada, tonight we launch year number 46, and like the league, we'll have lots of new looks, including beginning tomorrow night, our pregame show at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, and that's each and every Saturday. Lots about the show and what to look forward to this year as we move along, but suffice to say, the neatest and novel approach that we can present is to take the longest running show in sports television history further than she's ever been before and begin the season in Tokyo, in the land of the rising sun. Tokyo's the capital of Japan, and there's a look at the Olympic-sized ice surface inside Yoyogi Stadium, sold out tonight for the season premiere for Hockey Night in Canada. The Mighty Ducks of Anaheim and the Vancouver Canucks, and Vancouver will be the home team for the game tonight. The fun rises in the east, but not all is on the sunny side of life as we kick off the evening. We can't help but look ahead without knowing it would have been nice to see Paul Kariya in uniform and Alexander McGillney. Ironically, Paul, who plays in California, is in Vancouver tonight, and Alex, who plays in Vancouver, is in California. We'll update that story as we move along. There are some highlights in terms of the roster. Tons of pressure on Vancouver, and for that matter on Pierre Pagé as the Ducks get it rolling. It's a big year for the CBC. We have the All-Star Game with the new format and the Olympic Winter Games, and we'll be there for that. And when we are, the men who will call the gold medal game happen to be in Tokyo tonight. There's Bob Cole and Harry Neal. Gentlemen.
You know, Ron, the National Hockey League was delighted to be able to send 2 teams over here to Japan to introduce hockey, if you like, to the Japanese and be goodwill ambassadors. No problem with that. They've been terrific, both these teams. They've been lineups for 2.5 hours just to meet some of them and get autographs. But you know, talking to the players, you realize very quickly that it's down to business, and it starts now.
Absolutely. Both coaches have ordered their players to enjoy their trip to Tokyo, and judging from what the players have said, they have done that. But both coaches know the importance of these 2 games. Both teams go home to play 5 in a row at home after this doubleheader. The Ducks have always started slowly. They don't want to do that again. And the expectations for the Vancouver Canucks with the addition of Messier are out of sight. So they certainly don't want to go home without at least 1 win. So we ought to be in for an interesting and a fine hockey game here. The players are ready to go, and so are we.
And very shortly, they'll be dropping the puck for the first time away from North America right here in Tokyo. Ron?
You know, Bob, it's not the first time. The NHL was actually there in 1976, but for exhibition games when the Kansas City Scouts went overseas to play the Washington Capitals. Well, what's in store for the players and for the fans this evening? For more on that story, back across the Pacific, and here's Scott Russell. Scott.
Well, thanks very much, Ronnie. Talk about a long road trip to start the campaign. The Vancouver Canucks and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks are involved in the longest sojourn to start the regular season in National Hockey League history. So much has happened. Here's how it all began. The Canucks left for Japan on Monday afternoon, and after a 9-hour plane trip, they touched down Tuesday, the next day in Tokyo, right out amongst the people were the Canucks, Pavel Bure and Gino Ojek, taking the favored method of transportation, which is, of course, the subway. They had a trip to the Canadian Embassy and met people there, and they've been signing all kinds of autographs for the thousands of Japanese fans. Trevor Linden even conducted a clinic right outside Yoyogi Arena, and Mark Messier did an interview with a Japanese rock star. Yes, they're getting used to hockey here in Japan. The Zamboni's coming off just as I speak to you right now, and they've got it all down pat. Dan Craig here with the ice-making machines, and got some great ice here at Yoyogi Arena. We'll get set to go on the land of the rising sun soon, Ron.
Scott, as you know, you say cheers, Kampai over there. Looking forward to it. We'll drop the puck. It's the season premiere for Molson Hockey Night in Canada in Tokyo tonight. Live coverage of the Ducks and the Canucks at noon Saturday in Japan is coming up next.
It's a night for the young and the ageless. Next Saturday on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Eric Lindros and the Flyers travel to Montreal to face the legendary Canadiens. In Edmonton, new captain Matt Sundin goes head-to-head with the upstart Oilers. Then it's on to Vancouver, where Messier and Gretzky take to the ice again, this time as opponents.
All the big guns gonna shoot out the lights. The place will be rockin' till Saturday night.
All right, here's Greg Millen. Don Sherry's in tomorrow evening, but Greg, you hear anything quick on Paul Kariya?
Well, quickly, Don Baisley, you and I both talked with him, and they're not, that's right, they're not even close, that's the bottom line.
So, don't expect Kariya, at least for a little while. That's not from their camp, as they say. The word's mum out of Disney and Paul Kariya's side. Here's Bob Cole and Harry Neal for the call of the Ducks and the Canucks.
Thank you, Ron. And it's just a few minutes after noon here in Tokyo. The goaltenders, each team could bring 3. And for Anaheim, Stolinkov, Askey, and the starter is Hebert. There's McLean for Vancouver. Hirsch and Urbe also made the trip.
There appears to be a lineup change by the Canucks, and they've talked to referee Rob Schick and are making the change, whatever it is. Sillinger was hurt in practice yesterday, got over 50 stitches in his leg, and cannot play. And he was scheduled to play, so perhaps the Canucks made out the lineup incorrectly, and they're correcting it right now.
The starting lines are Linden, Walker, and Jelena for Vancouver against Ruchin, Solani, and Knudsen. For Anaheim, Mironov and Karpov teaming up at the blue line for the Mighty Ducks. Olin and Ledyard get together in front of Kirk McLean. Listen to the crowd, they're into it already. The puck has just been dropped. There goes Ruchin down across the line, and the first shot is a bit too high. And off the glass. Cleared into the corner. And Vancouver will pick it up and come away. Walker gets in over the line. He's going in wide and can't get a decent shot on the net. Harper was hit back to the goal. And again, Vancouver forechecking. Coming up quickly, Oland, they expect big things from this youngster. He's wearing number 2, Matthias Oland. And he's been pretty good for Vancouver in training camp. And here he is, number 2. Let's see how he does as he gets to center and wants to change. So he rolls it in neatly off the boards to the left of the net. Mighty Ducks back to pick it up. Through the middle, Big Pronger steps in for Anaheim. Left it for Sandstrom, number 17. He was checked, and it's cleared back to center ice. There's Messier, his first turn for Vancouver, the captain of the Vancouver Canucks. On the boards, they jam away at it, and it's Messier getting it back. Slapped in behind the net, and J.J. Daniel for Anaheim. Long lead pass, easily intercepted. There's Bure. Bure has Messier in front of the net. Bure again, scooped it at the goal, and Hebert gloved it and held on to it.
So Pavel Bure last night decided to change his shirt number from 96 to 10. That was the number he wore originally for the Canucks. So if you're a Canuck fan, make note of that one. The Vancouver lineup looks like this. As you can see, Matthias Oland is the rookie on the defense corps, and they have been so pleased with his training camp. We'll have to see how he plays when the season starts. As I mentioned, Sillinger out, Scatchard in, and Roberts moves up to the second line.
And Roberts is wearing number 7. He's in on the faceoff. So Brashear and Bohannes will be on the wings for David Roberts. Couldn't win the draw, though. Anaheim away with it. And Tusky flipped it in as he hit the blue line. Back there is Babbage. Got it ahead. Not out of the zone, though. Babbage trying the other way. And reaching forward is Brashear. Got as far as center ice and threw a hit. That's Soleil. Stas just rolled it up across center ice. The Canucks get it over the line. Not too much action for the goaltenders yet. McLean waiting for the first one. There was a shot, but it whistled high and over his head. Canucks get it up to center ice again. Roberts flipped it in front of the net. Really a giveaway, but they pick it up. And the shot from the wing was off the side of the net. Canucks on it again. Jelena, ever dangerous. Flipped the pass back, then could not make an interception inside the line. But he hit his man. Mironov slipped it up to center. Jelena got back. Good back checking. Puck down the ice, however. And that's icing called against Vancouver. No, score.
Guy Hebert is the goaltender of note. That's linked off the backup you're looking at right now. And the 6 defensemen that Pierre Pagé is using are, as you can see, they have big hopes for Soleil, the 9th overall pick in 1996. He's playing with Bobby Dolis. And on the forward line, the most noticeable absentee, obviously, is Paul Kariya. And Pierre Pagé was saying that if and when they get Kariya back, they ought to be able to have 2 lines that scare you offensively. Last year it was only 1, but that one did scare a lot of coaches.
And the big plan for Anaheim is, of course, to get a better start than last year. That shouldn't be too difficult. They had an horrendous start last season.
They won 1 game in October.
Puck in deep. The Anaheim zone. Pile of players in on the boards, and coming out is Ojik. Puck bounced by him. He did not see it. Scatchard is number 20. He went after it. It did get back out to center ice. Oland had a notion to move up and decided to put on the brakes near the line. Scatchard in. Bumping with his man. It comes back in front of the net. But around the net, Noonan, and couldn't make a decent play with it. So the Ducks will just shoot it off the glass and get it out. Not a bad pace to start this first game of the 2-game series. That shot in wide. We were thinking this crowd, Harry and I, would be rather quiet at the start, but they're dying to get going.
Still a question of what team they want to win, so as the game wears on, we may find one of the 2 teams becomes the crowd favorite.
This is Daigneault. Ahead it goes and shot in deep again. Knutson went up, chasing it as he dumped it in. He got in front of the net, but couldn't get a shot. Canucks out. Jelena lifting one into the far corner. Linden was in there to bump his man. Linden, number 16, without the C now. He decided Messier should be captain. A real classy move by Trevor Linden. That should not surprise anybody. He's in there with a shot. And a good scoring chance. And a penalty. The first one of the game is coming up. It'll be against Anaheim.
The all-new 1998 Escort ZX2. Grab life by the wheel.
Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. And by Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited.
We're getting ready for the first power play. Espen Knutsen is in the box for hooking.
And he is one of two rookies that have really been impressive in training camp. The Norwegian player who played last year, and you can see it to the right of the screen right there, in Sweden.
Lume's long shot off the glove of a Bear. Stayed out. Vancouver, first power play of the two-game series here in Tokyo. Messier. He's been handling the puck beautifully. Gets it back to the line. In position for the move to the net. That second pass may be one too many. Messier is open again. Here he is. Can't get good wood on that. Vancouver on the outside. No score. First period. Back to the line. Again, Messier works to an open spot. Lume is back at the line, and Messier is there with him. He's covered, though. Drury doing a good job in the four-man box. He's up high. Pass comes to Bure. He's too far back. Bure looking to the net. Shot right on. Blocked. Cleared. Nearing the 6-minute mark of the first period. No score. Vancouver looking to be in pretty good control, though, on this first power play, and out they come. Linden on the ice now with the pass from center. He trails the play. The shot goes in wide of the net. Jelena banked it off the boards back there, and Karpa had a chance to clear. Not fast enough, though. Vancouver keep it in. In back of the net. Noonan tried to dig it out. Noonan gets out in front with Jelena. Tied up. He's there, hugging the post. Keeps the puck out and hangs on to it.
Well, this is a bit of a strange rink for the players on both these teams. It's 197 feet long, which is just slightly shorter than the NHL ones, but it's 95 feet wide, which is quite a bit wider. They have very low glass, as you can see, and the benches go very deeply into each end zone. And so if you're a defenseman that likes to chip it off the glass when you get in trouble, you're going to be chipping it over the glass, and you'd worry a little bit about the goaltenders who are used to higher glass further up the boards, shooting one over and getting a penalty. And I wonder if the Japanese fans know how dangerous that puck can be.
Only 27 seconds left in the power play for Vancouver now. And no score in the game yet. And that'll be cleared. That'll run the penalty. Knutsen getting ready to come back on. Only 15 seconds to move it quickly for Vancouver. Noonan steps over the line on a pretty good move. Got it back to Jelena. And he hooked it too high. Into the crowd. It went over the glass at the far side, and now only 9 seconds left in that penalty against Knutsen.
Well, the Canucks had a disappointing season, but not this young man, Martin Jelena. 35 goals. This is his 10th year in the National League. He won the Cyclone Taylor Trophy for the most valuable player on the team. He won the most exciting player in the team, and he won the Molson Cup. And he had 6 points in 6 preseason games and appears to have picked it up just where he left off last year. Don't you remember, Bob, just like yesterday, he was on that kid line for the Oilers when they won that Stanley Cup in Boston.
And has turned out to be a big player with Vancouver. Bure got in front. He had one about hip high. Couldn't quite hit it. And Bear is looking rather sharp.
Well, Bure, who was a doubtful traveler on this trip, the media in Vancouver made quite a deal out of the fact that he actually went on the trip, and you can see the double tip nearly got by Bear. And the Canucks have to hope that Pavel Bure can improve on his 23-goal, 55-point season last year, which was clearly below par for him.
Messier has really taken this young man under his wing, and Bure had a good chat with him night before last, and he is loving the season coming up already. Just feels better, so he says.
Well, he had the bad knee and he had the bad neck, and he's healthy now, and when he's healthy, look out, he's a dangerous guy.
Now the power play is over. The teams are at full strength, no score. That is Bure. For 10, got it ahead.
Turning back is Naslund. And the puck again is over the glass into the crowd. Messier, Naslund, and Bure. That could turn out to be a pretty good trio for Vancouver.
Well, Mark Messier, what else can you say about this guy? Perhaps the best team leader in the history of the game, certainly in his time in the National Hockey League. And an attitudinal adjustment had to be made as the Canucks were riddled with poor attitude last year. I rather doubt that this guy will allow it to happen in the 97-98 season. 6 Stanley Cups. So he knows the formula.
Scott Young is wearing number 48. To move the number with him, he got it away from his own zone. Down across the Vancouver line. Oland back. Out of the net, McLean can't find it. Nearly coughed that up in front of the goal. Bure made the pass through the middle. Messier had to go off his skate. Ledyard is back with Oland. And he leaves it for Messier. And then he nearly tripped up to catch it. McLean had to come to the rescue. A giveaway up the side of the net nearly resulted in a scoring play, but no score yet.
What makes Ford trucks so tough? How about the choice of 2 available, powerful Ford Triton V8 engines? What makes Ford trucks tough to beat? How about the world's only standard third door on the Ford F-150 Super Cab? And what makes Ford F-Series the #1 selling truck in Canada for 29 years running? Hard-working Canadians who need tough, versatile trucks for work and for play. Built Ford Tough.
Peak of the market.
Grown in Manitoba, Peak of the Market means Manitoba's best vegetables. Farm fresh flavor that's guaranteed delicious and nutritious. Supplying Manitoba with quality vegetables for over half a century.
The very best from Manitoba, and it's peak of the market.
Anaheim, Harry, just got their first shot on goal, and Messier was in a bit of trouble.
Well, he looked up to see where he wanted to pass, and he loses the puck. And when he looks back down, the puck's not sitting flat, and he only got part of it. McLean bailed him out after a rare giveaway in his own end by Mark Messier.
And the face-off will come to the right of Kirk McLean. From the line, Dolis shot hit a player in front. It bounced away from the net, and they can't keep it in. Now for Bohannes. Flipped in deep by David Roberts. Delay shot it away on the boards, and it got back out. Steos in his own zone. They head to Bohannes. Can't move it quickly enough. Gets another chance and does get it up across the line. Roberts nearly got in out of the net. Bear shot it away to the right side. Janssens couldn't move it out. And again, Anaheim backing up in their own zone now, but Vancouver coming at them. That is probably a reason for the slowness in moving it away and getting it out. Again, they're trapped in there, but I think Schick might be calling another penalty. He's had to call just one so far in this first period. Had his hand up, but maybe not. We'll be back to sort it out after this.
Here's something you should never do with your eyeglasses unless they're made from Flexon. Even after bending and twisting, Flexon frames still look and fit great. Feel free to fall asleep in your glasses. Feel free to squeeze your Flexon frames. Feel free to kid around. Flexon frames. Durable, comfortable, light. Ask for them by name. Flexon by Marchand.
How would you like to spend some fun-filled family time at West Edmonton Mall's world-class attractions? Look for the 50% off Family Pass coupons inside the specially marked Pepsi 12 pack. Oh yeah, and there's this football thing. Drop off an entry form at Bumper to Bumper and you could win a VIP trip for 2 to the Grey Cup in Edmonton. Fly in with WestJet, stay 3 nights at the Fantasyland Hotel, and party at West Edmonton Mall's Hard Rock Cafe. Not bad. Pick up your 50% off coupon and get set to save on some serious family fun at West Edmonton Mall.
John Antosky in the background there was cut. He only played 2 games last year for the Ducks, had hernia insurance surgery in February, and there you can see he walked into the stick and was down on the ice for half a minute, but seems to be all right now.
All right, 2 penalties were called on that play. Dulles for Anaheim is gone. Bohannes for Vancouver.
Bohannes got 4 minutes. Double minor, so Scatcherd's in serving the first 2.
All right, so Anaheim has an opportunity to get something going in this game first. No score, first period. Puck shot indeed. Mironov got it back to the line. He's in a spot to let it fly, but now he's checked. So he passes off again and moves a bit. Now the shot. That is blocked easily. Linden takes his time. Thought maybe he might have a chance to rush away with it. And then decided to go back deep in his own zone to kill some time. Power play Anaheim. No score. First period. 11 minutes left on it. And all the way back is Daigneault. J.J. Daigneault for the Mighty Ducks. Stalled by Messier for a moment. Got it ahead to Solani. Any room along the boards? No, not this time. Steas was with him. Shot in front goal. Big save, McLean. 2-on-1. Bure with the puck. And he stopped. He had Messier open on the left side. Bure and Messier. What a dangerous twosome. Rushing away. 2-on-1.
Well, Dmitry Mironov came off the point, and the Vancouver penalty killers must have ignored him because he walks in, and look at the chance he gets here. Stopped by McLean, and the rebound goes right to Bure, and away Messier and Bure go on the 2-on-1. And what a play right here by Daigneault. I think he surprised Pavel Bure by not being in the middle and jumped up quickly to poke check the puck off Bure before Bure could make the pass or go in for the shot. But when you have Messier and Bure coming down on you 2-on-1, you better be careful. There's Pierre Page on the right and the new assistant John Hay on the left.
Still no score. Anaheim, power play for another 40 seconds. Now they line up inside the Vancouver line. Win the draw, get it to the boards and jump on it. Back is Soleil. And he left it at the far side for Treble. Shot it in. It's going to be cleared by Vancouver. Shot away and down the ice. Jelena nearly caught up to it. Couldn't quite get there. Sandstrom turning. Leading the 3-man attack near center and playing it back for Pronger. Coming to the net. Pushed off to one side, but he turns at the boards and got it back. Again, Soleil. Flipped it along the boards and in. And there's McLean again. Very sharp. As we mentioned, we watched the shooting drill yesterday with Kurt McLean. Boy, did he ever look sharp.
Yes, he did, and this is the tough rink for goaltenders. There's lots of rebounds off the boards. The power play last year for Anaheim was 9th in the league. They scored 56 power play goals. Paul Kariya had 15 of them. So he's going to be missed everywhere. And I hope, for the sake of the Ducks, he gets back, but for our sake, fans of the NHL, he gets back. One of the pickups by Jack Ferrer, the general manager, was Thomas Sandstrom from the Stanley Cup champion Toronto Maple Leafs, or Detroit Red Wings.
Vancouver intercepting passes. Bure again. Ian Messier breaking away quickly. But too many were back that time. Karpa turning with Mironov. Power play winding down. Just done now. Still no score in the first period. Grabbed through center by Drury. He was backed up. Sacco tried to keep going. He was hit. Got the puck down there, though. McLean shot it away. Did not see Drury come in. However, it hopped away from him. The Ducks are changing. 9:15 left in the first period. Vancouver and Anaheim. And their first game of the National Hockey League season. And their second 24 hours from now. Or a little less. So 2 games here in Tokyo. And a sold-out crowd. It took them 2.5 hours to sell the tickets. for this thing last March. And they came for a little over $200 US each. Now they're here. Look at them.
When a trip to the wilderness becomes a fight for survival. Two rivals.
You and my wife? I've seen you with her.
I don't want to hear it!
Must rely on each other.
Come on, Joe!
And if you think you know who will survive,
Wait, full of betrayal.
you have never been.
I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna kill the mother.
To the Edge.
Get me!
Anthony Hopkins, Alec Baldwin, The Edge, now playing only in theaters.
Yeah, I know. What's the goalie doing with a mop, right? Fedorov. Couldn't stop him. Pump check. That's locked. Couldn't stop him. Butterfly. Couldn't stop him. Kick save! I couldn't stop him. And now I'm a janitor. Custodial engineer. Hey, buddy. Just wax there. Jerk.
Scott's going to talk a lot about the history of this rink, but at one end there are the diving boards. Remember in 1964, this was the swimming venue in the Olympic Games. Vancouver's the home team and took the shallow end. I thought that was a good idea because this rink's over top a swimming pool with a wooden floor covering the pool. So if you fall in the Vancouver end, you're only up to your waist. If you fall in the other end, you're in trouble.
At the skating drills here, when everybody is skating around the perimeter of the rink, sounds a lot like a railway station in New York.
Or 6 racehorses coming around the bend to head into the stretch.
Canucks have had 7 shots so far in this period, and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks only 3, and no score. Poked ahead through center ice by Knutson. They did get it up there where Solani was on the boards, but couldn't find it. Jelena back out. Yes, Walker with him. Jelena is stopped, and turning back was Knutson. Left it for Ruchin. Solani up there, dropped it again. The long shot by Dolis is blocked. Again, Solani, and he left it there in that big circle. Knutson got it back. It was missed at the point by Bobby Dolis, and he has to go back. He lost it. Chance in front. Walker scores. The Vancouver Canucks apparently had some fans here in Tokyo. The Pacific Rim team gets the first goal of that puck. Harry will go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's signed by the commissioner. And it's the first goal in this historic series. You see it now. The break in front by Walker. And that puck goes to the Hockey Hall of Fame. First goal.
Bobby Dolis lost Walker after the careless giveaway by Soleil. Walker was presented with the opportunity and scores the first NHL goal ever in Japan.
Unassisted, mind you. Scott Walker, 12-10 the time for that first ever goal, as you say. 1-0, Vancouver. Oh, it's jumped down the ice. Harpa back, rolled it up on the boards at the far side. Pronger didn't see the pass come up behind him, and Sandstrom went after it. But again, it's Steos. Stopped him and flipped it ahead. But Pronger now, rink-wide pass. Now that's a long way to go with it. Fired in front of the net. Messier in front of his own goal, but Bure started the play ahead. A little bit too far. Vancouver have to come back. They're leading 1-0 on the unassisted goal by Scott Walker at 12-10. And only 7 minutes left in the first period now. Bure. Pass coming up behind Brashear. He didn't see it. Hit his skate. And down the wing. A chance for Andoski. Shoots. Up on the plane. He was out cutting the angle beautifully. Did a good job of it. And made the save with the right pad. And the play was called.
Did you see the look on his face?
Hey, here comes another one. Come to Papa. Wait, not a Ford Contour. That thing's got more moves than a cat. And it's so quick.
What do they think we are? Greyhounds?
Come in and test drive the newly restyled 1998 Ford Contour. One drive will surprise you.
Hey, you guys up for a little Italian?
Vancouver leading 1-0 in this first of a two-game series here in Tokyo. 6:25 remaining in the opening period. And away goes Roberts. Got it over the line and then lost control of it out of his reach. So the Canucks come back. Look very poised, getting started with this clearing play. Back in for Roberts. Bohannes along the boards in the corner and saw the hit coming. Roberts moved in on the loose puck, cut it back. Long shot by Ledyard at the line. Kicked away by Hebert. And down the ice it goes. That's icing called against Anaheim.
Well, one of the new defensemen for the Vancouver Canucks, a position that Pat Quinn's still not comfortable with, is Grant Ledyard. Plus 31 last year in Dallas. He's got good speed. Will add some mobility to this Canuck defense corps. When you look at the Vancouver Canucks, you wonder how they're going to do. Here's the Ledyard shot from the point. Hebert saw it all the way, but gave up a pretty fat rebound for a shot 45 feet away that he saw. Three of the questions Pat Quinn has. Can McLean play the way he did in '94? Can Ledyard help a defense corps that had a tough year last year? And can the Vancouver Canucks become more conscientious defensively? Those are the three worries General Manager Pat Quinn has. And I was talking to him yesterday about it, and I still think he's on the search for another defenseman.
Scatchard, Noonan, and Ojek, the fourth line for Vancouver, win the face-off and get a shot away. Storming back out, Drury decides to shoot it from the line. Big scramble on front. They all whack at it. The puck stays out. Vancouver Canucks were all back, helping McLean, who had to go down, having made the first stop, and they couldn't jam it in.
Well, don't forget, the crease rule is still in vogue, and we may, had this puck gone in the net, have to go upstairs to the video goal judge, who's Paul Dvorsky. He'll referee the game tomorrow to see if there was any blue uniforms on the blue ice. And here's a look at McLean and what he had to contend with. The puck's in there somewhere, and he finds it as it's slowly sliding to the goal line. Brian Burke with Paul Dvorsky taking a look, practicing now to see what they really come up there. Will they be ready for it?
Brian Burke, of course, will be serving the role of supervisor of this hockey game, along with many other roles he's played for the National Hockey League in his capacity here for these two teams. And it's been a huge success from all viewpoints so far. 1-0 is the score in this first period as Anaheim comes back trying to tie it. And McLean is out again, cutting the angle as Drury elected to shoot it. He had Sacco with him in front of the goal, but went for the shot. 5 minutes left in this opening period. Soleil coming back out. Solani, the great skater, got in over the line all right, but they finally stopped him. And Babbage flipped it away. Linden, one hand on the stick, upended. It goes right on. Linden was down and out of the play. So Solani back in. Tried to flip it over there for Knutson and hopped over his stick. Lonnie in after it again. Knutson chasing the puck. Getting a little help from Ruchin. They bang at it, and it'll be Solani flipping it at McLean. No problem. He was hugging the post on the short side. Puck just came off his pads. Steas shot it back down the ice and Marinov. Trying to make changes. Canucks do. Jelena has gone. And Messier hops on. Steas again. Turns it through center ice. Long shot by Naslund. Easily deflected. And high into the crowd. Up behind Hebert.
What's so great about Speed Stick Clear deodorant?
Take a look at this gel. See?
it's wet and sticky. And mine, it goes on dry.
Speed Stick Clear for tough 24-hour protection. It's more than clear. It's clearly dry.
By Madden. Did you see the look on his face?
Hey, here comes another one. Come to Papa. Wait, not a Ford Contour. That thing's got more moves than a cat. And it's so quick.
What do they think we are? Greyhounds?
Come in and test drive the newly restyled 1998 Ford Contour. One drive will surprise you.
Hey, you guys up for a little Italian?
What's so great about Speed Stick Clear deodorant?
Take a look at this gel. See? It's wet and sticky. And mine, it goes on dry.
Speed Stick Clear for tough 24-hour protection. It's more than clear. It's clearly dry.
By Madden.
Lots of signs here in Tokyo, as you can see, and quite a number of Canadians who work over here stopped in to talk to Bob and I before the game, saying how pleased they are to see a National Hockey League game here in Tokyo, Japan. One of them even knew your daughter.
Amazing.
Isn't that something?
Small world or what? Better be careful. You better... Get the other two upset.
That's right.
Daniel swept one up over the line, and it's cleared off the boards back to center ice. Pronger. His pass, young shot off the stick up high. 1-0. Vancouver has the only goal of this first period, and just under 3.5 minutes remaining in the opening period. Bure, shot blocked. Bure again. Messier with him. They go in after it, and Bure pushed his man off the puck. Sticks a little high. Bure takes a swing, and the play is called. I think he'll send them both. Bure doesn't want to stop either.
J.J. Daniels, the guy to cross-check Bure.
Boy, I'll tell you, Bure is a spirited young man. We all know that now, but he is showing signs of when he was playing great hockey for Vancouver.
What's so special about Glad garbage bags?
Built-in, tieable, remarkable, reliable. Double ties make them extra securable.
Tieable Glad garbage bags with easy tie tops. Strong, easy to use Glad.
Glad garbage bags.
Keep your car in great shape. STP shape. An STP fuel injector cleaner helps keep it that way. It's easy. Just add it to your car's gas and drive your fuel injectors clean. Clean into
STP shape.
with STP fuel injector cleaner.
We mentioned Pavel Bure being spirited. He draws a pair of minors. Daniel of Anaheim, a minor penalty.
Daniel will get it for cross-checking, and Bure for high sticking. Here's the cross-check right here. Bure didn't like that, so he comes off the boards, gives them, there's 2 minutes, and here comes the other two right here. J.J. Daniel, former first-round pick of the Vancouver Canucks. Great addition to Anaheim late in the season last year, and Bure's still upset. He's got a Bure under his saddle, I think.
So another power play now for Anaheim, who are trailing Vancouver 1-0. The goal back at 12:10 on assisted goal by Scott Walker. And historical goal. It was. First regular season game of the National Hockey League outside North America, right here in Tokyo. Anaheim sent back. 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the first period. That is Marinov starting them out. Gets it passed back. And he goes in. Pass to the right side. Swinging at it is Jelena as he was falling. And down the ice again. The penalty killers change up for Vancouver. Saleh. Long pass. Solani tried to hit Knudsen. He was checked. Pronger is on the puck. Moving along the boards. Pronger in deep. Bumped by Burson. Back to the line. They keep it in. Solani gets in front of the net. Knudsen comes back. And the shot from the line is blocked. Right in front again. Solani there, Mr. Great chance. McLean sprawling. Solani had a gorgeous chance. Now he's back to pick it up in his own zone. Pass to a man who was covered. Roberts all over Pronger. Good move. Rabel stepped in front of Hebert and straight up to the line. Coming to center. From there he'll dump it in. McLean reaching down and lifting a high one down the ice himself. 20 seconds left in the penalty. Anaheim on the power play. Had one good chance. That's about it.
They're going to
Power
shoot the
play
puck.
winding down.
Well, if they're going to shoot the puck in on the power play, they can't give it to the goalie. McLean's one of the better stick-handling goalies in the league. He can get it out before you can get in.
There goes Drury. Nowhere near the net with that sharp angle shot. Don't forget, this ice surface much wider. And they're shooting from the boards. Boy, that's tough. Scatcher didn't see it. Slipped it high anyway by Drury into the crowd. And the penalty has expired. And we're in the final minute of the first period, 52 seconds.
Well, McLean, who had a pretty easy first 10 minutes, has been quite a bit busier here in the latter half and makes a good stop right here on a point shot. Or Merson makes the stop, but he can't get the puck. And there is a foot save by McLean, and the puck's behind him. And before McLean gets it, Jyrki Lumi grabs it. Here's another look at the same play. McLean looks confident in there. Gets a little bit of a break there as didn't know where the puck was. Timo Solani, second in the NHL scoring derby last year. Nobody misses number 9 more than this guy. What a pair those two are. Correa, Solani, and it's only a one-man show tonight.
Dolis, a lifting one into the boards to the left of Kirk McLean. Vancouver realizing time just about done. They have the 1-0 lead, so they just seem contented to shoot it away. Well, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks come up to push it in behind the net. Not in there long. 28 seconds left in the period. Big race for it. And Jelena, who's got the wheels, made a good effort to get in and touch it.
Did he ever? He saved a 200-foot. That would have been icing.
Ledyard now backs up a bit. 10 seconds left in the period. Oland lifted it ahead for Trevor Linden. He knows not much time left, so the quick pass and the shot blocked by Hebert, but a good effort by the Canucks. They have the only goal of the period.
Well, they were the better team. I thought Vancouver in the first half, or two-thirds of the first period, but the Ducks came to life and couldn't score, but had some good chances in the second half. So the first period of the first game's out of the way. The players will feel a lot better, period 2.
Scott has been doing a lot of work for us, film-wise, the last couple of days, and we'll hear more about this great arena from Scott coming up. Scott Walker, unassisted at 12-10, only goal. 1-0. Vancouver. So a good period for the Canucks. 1-0.
Why does cloverleaf always taste so good?
I don't know. Because they only want the really, really good ones. Salmon. Tuna. There you hold them like empty cans in a boat like this, and then the best kind of fish dumped in it and smash a lid on it.
Only 2 out of 5 fish are good enough.
Only the best fish go in the cans.
Cloverleaf, because kids know best.
This is one of the most amazing things in the world. You can cut it, shape it, fasten it together, make just about anything you want out of it, and be really proud of what you've done. At Home Building Centers, we buy big, with more stores providing building supplies to people all across Canada. No matter how big a job you're facing, we can help you handle it. Home Building Centers, we've got your lumber.
You know, your Ford and Mercury dealers want to make sure you get the vehicle that's right for you. So to make sure you stay happy, I'm here to give you something more. Something that doesn't end when you leave the lot. Standard feature that comes with every car, truck, and van we sell. We call it a relationship. Ford of the double cream. That's fine, yeah,
Your Ford and Mercury dealers. We're with you all the way.
Anne Murray. In one incredible evening, she sings and performs with Jan Arden, Bryan Adams, and Celine Dion. An intimate evening with Anne Murray, Sunday night.
Closest thing to Times Square in Tokyo, as you see overseas. The scene, beautiful day, 73 degrees or 23 Celsius, 1-zip. Scott Walker's 8th NHL goal is a biggie, the first ever scored in Japan. Now, as for the Vancouver Canucks and leadership, class is the word for the man who handed over the sea, and he's with Scott Russell. Scott?
Yeah, thanks very much, Ron. This man has been the leader so long in Vancouver. A long way from Medicine Hat, Alberta to Tokyo, Japan. You've made the trip. How's it been so far?
It's been great. The flight was great. The people have been so friendly over here, and it's made us, it's made it very easy for us to get used to things. And if we win these 2 games, it'll be that much better.
How's the hockey club dealt with this and come together?
It's been great. That's one thing. Guys experience new things for the first time, and you always have some stories to tell about what happened, and so it's been good.
Strange to see this on your sweater instead of a C, but you gave it to Mark. Tell us about why that came about.
Well, I just felt it was the right thing to do for me, and obviously, definitely from a team standpoint, I felt like it was the right thing to do. He's a great leader and someone I admire a lot, and it's not going to change anything I do. I think it just makes our team a whole lot better.
Well said, Trevor. Everybody admires you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Trevor Linden of the Canucks. Ron, back to you.
Super. Thanks a lot, Scott. Trevor looks happy, and why wouldn't he be? An excellent first period for his side. We'll talk a lot about the 5 rings in Japan that CBC will cover this year, but of course it's the 6 rings for $20 million that the Canucks were happy with. For more on that, let's look at Mark Messier.
The Edmonton Oilers.
Wayne has gone to L.A. and has made them into a solid contender, and we're just hoping that Mark will be able to do the same thing with us.
An opportunity again to play with Mark was something that was very enticing, and as I said, over the course of the off-season, it was really everything I could have asked for and everything I could have hoped for, and really was a nice run.
I think the alarm started going off when they let me become a free agent, obviously. A week after that, some things started going on, and still nothing was being done, and I think the alarm went off then,
You never second-guess decisions that you could have, should have, would have made. As a coach, I would like to have Mark back on our team to shoot.
Messier says he'd love to still be in the Big Apple, where he underlined his credentials as a leader, taking the Rangers to the Stanley Cup. But New York is an era of his life he must now put behind him.
You just don't spend 6 years in the 6 kind of quality years that I had in New York and leave without any disappointing feelings. I mean, I left with a lot of great feelings, don't get me wrong, but Wayne was one of those.
I was disappointed and, was sorry to see him leave. Because, when things are good, you want them to last forever.
His mission in Vancouver may be as easy or as difficult as living up to his reputation.
He speaks volumes by how he carries himself, by the nonverbal cues that he sort of demonstrates both on the bench, on the ice, in the dressing room, and just the mystique that is him as he carries himself outside.
Mark, call it timing, call it just a natural ability, but he found that correct time, that place and situation. For example, in New York, when he guaranteed the win, we won, and he went out and got 3 goals. He did what he had to do at exactly the right time. He didn't waste his move.
And I think the captain of the Rangers, who put it on the line, saying he guarantees a win in this one.
He was a good guy for after wins. Mark was a good guy to lead the team wherever they're going, but when it come time to work, Mark was at the front of the work game too.
That's been the case in Vancouver, where the team has paid $6 million for a leader, and Mark Messier knows how to lead.
It's important just to kind of sit back and look and listen and see what's going on, what went on last year, the feelings that the players have, the feelings that the coaching staff have, and try to put it all together and try to come up with some solutions.
One problem in need of a solution, Pavel Bure. In the offseason, Bure fired his agent and put in a request for a trade. It seemed he was finished with the Canucks, but when the team left for Japan, Bure was on the plane. Messier's signing may have kept Bure on the team. The Russian's performance in the preseason has raised eyebrows. He's on a line with Messier, and Bure knows exactly what that's worth.
He's like a legend of the hockey, and it's kind of funny because I was watching him when I was like a little kid. You know, he used to play against the Soviet Union team, and now we're teammates and we're line mates. So it's really exciting time for me. When you play with guys like him, you just want to show him what you have to get respect in his eyes.
I know from experience that you don't replace guys like Pavel Bure if you want to win a championship, and he's a guy who can lead you there.
He seems to have rejuvenated Pavel to the point where he's excited about playing, he's having fun playing, he's doing the things that I think most people in Vancouver have seen Pavel do in the past, and that can only excite the rest of us. For me, I was really excited when I heard Mark sign with the Canucks because I heard a lot about him, I played against him, and it's kind of exciting to go to the dressing room and see Mark there.
For me, the tough part is getting the trust and the relationships from the players on your new team, and the only time can do that.
Well, I hope he helps us come up with an identity, one that we can kind of carry on for years to come. We want to be a competitive team. We want to be a team that just doesn't quit, find different ways to win, be sort of a resilient type team, maybe a team with a bit of a chip on its shoulder for the right reasons, a bit of an attitude, I think is important here, and being respected for all of that.
Can one man mean that much to a team? Messier has before. Will he again?
Thanks to Scott Oak for the idea of a wealth of experience in Vancouver. And by the way, Scott will always be featured prominently in our pregame show tomorrow night at 7. 4 Pacific, he'll talk about the free agent situation now overwhelming the NHL. What about Alexander McGillney? Greg Millen's just got off the phone with Mike Barnett. We'll have more on that story. It's 1-zip Vancouver. You're watching action from Tokyo and Toronto on Molson Hockey Night in Canada.
Your Ford and Mercury dealers want to make sure you get the vehicle that's right for you. So to make sure you stay happy, I'm here to give you something more. Something that doesn't end when you leave the lot. Standard feature that comes with every car, truck, and van we sell. We call it a relationship. Ford of the double cream.
Your Ford and Mercury dealers. We're with you all the way.
You want to walk?
Maybe I should walk.
No one's walking.
1, 2, stand up. That's it. Try to bring your arms forward. Take long, deep breaths.
I can't.
Okay, hold on, Michelle. Hold on. Bend your knee. Bend your knee. Hold on. Tomorrow will be better. It'll get easier each day.
The Leather Ranch.
Where beauty and quality doesn't have to be expensive.
No middleman.
The Leather Ranch designs and manufactures quality leather and suedes right here in Canada.
That means big savings on all styles, whether casual, classic, or high fashion.
They have them all, including the largest Western boot collection anywhere at unbelievable prices.
They will never be undersold.
Looking for the best? Shop where they sell the best.
The Leather Ranch. Winnipeg. Portage Place.
Seconds of that opening period and clearly had some jump playing alongside Pavel Bure. Canucks lead the Ducks. Here's Greg Millen, and as I say, just spoke to Mike Barnett, who was in New York tonight celebrating Wayne Gretzky's great new deal. 2-2 tie, by the way, for the Isles and the Rangers. More on that in a moment. What's he say about Alex?
Well, they told me that he thinks that Alex McGillney might be traded. Why? Well, Pavel Bure's situation is much calmer now. He's playing with Mark Messier, obviously playing well tonight, and that leaves 3 high-priced forwards in Vancouver. They desperately need a defenseman, so I would think, and he thinks that maybe, just maybe, or maybe for sure, that he will be traded from the Vancouver Canucks.
We were scooting along at the opening, but you mentioned you don't see any ground being broken with Paul Kariya and the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Where do you think this is going to go? The word I hear is that Paul would play in the Olympic Games if he didn't sign a contract. You got to remember about Kariya. He went a whole year without signing the first time after being drafted in '93, and he didn't play from Lillehammer through the World Championship, and he was still the MVP forward over there.
Well, Paul Kariya is a real stubborn guy. He really sticks to his guns, and you know, the real problem for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim is this. If they really get him mad and he all of a sudden says, look, I don't want to play for you anymore, then they've really got problems. So this may become very interesting before it's over.
And Disney wants a profit, make no mistake. They wouldn't go into the NHL without an under-table arrangement to get them in for 25 to Bruce McNall and 25 for the rest of the NHL. That will be an interesting impasse.
Shoulder away Tokyo District. It's like any other sports facility, really, just concrete and steel, with one exception, that is, this wasn't built as a hockey rink. This was built as the aquatics venue for the 1964 Olympics. Yes, under the ice is a state-of-the-art pool. They've also played pro basketball in Yogi, as well as World League volleyball. Figure skating events are not uncommon here, but the ice for that can be very soft. For hockey, it has to be hard and fast, and so refrigeration facilities are pushed to the limit. A network of pipes carrying coolant to the rink is crucial, and the NHL's ice engineers have worked magic with local crews.
Any facility that we walk into, we can go in and we can make sure that we have proper ice surface here.
Does that encourage people then? Do people here in Japan go, wow, it can happen?
Well, they've put ice in here before. This is not unusual for them. It's just that we have to monitor a little bit more closely than what they would because they use this for public skating. You know, and so public skating compared to NHL hockey is a vast difference.
The players will tell you it's not the best ice they've played on, but it's not the worst either. After all, how often is it that an Olympic swimming pool is beneath the rink? It gives a whole new meaning to skating on frozen pond.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Let's get you to the second period. Here again, Bob Cole and Harry Neal.
Thank you, Ron. 1-0 the score. Vancouver leading, out shooting Anaheim 10-7. In the first period. The goal by Walker, unassisted, at 12:10.
Well, the Vancouver Canucks were waiting for the officials to get out here. Both teams are out. Vancouver, I thought, dominated the early part of the first. On came the Ducks in the latter part. And Mark Messier, I mentioned, knows the formula to the Stanley Cup. And here is a picture of the last one he got his name on, and he's now a member of the Vancouver Canucks. And Mark Messier has a big assignment for Vancouver. Get this team thinking the right way. And of course, it was a very newsworthy NHL item when he signed late July. All the papers across Canada, as well as in Vancouver, had him on the front page. And you know, if there was one move the Vancouver Canucks could make, signing Mark Messier had to be the biggest thing that's happened to Vancouver in a long time. And Bob, you and I are great admirers of this warhorse. He epitomizes intensity, determination, and success in the NHL.
Obviously, the officials in a room somewhere in this building have not heard that the teams are out waiting for them to start the second period.
Maybe we could just go on the honor system here, and the players play, and when they foul somebody, they go to the penalty box.
You know, here's one of the classiest guys. Only got two of them together. I'm referring to Trevor Linden. He decided the other night that he would, right here in Tokyo, approach officials of the Canucks, his bosses, and said, look, I think the best thing for this team, here they come, the best thing for this team now would be for me to invite Mark Messier to be the captain of the team. And then Mark jumped into it and said, now just a minute, Trevor, you've been a great leader of this team. I think you should think about this. No. And the two of them discussed it at length, and it was unanimous And it was announced here in Tokyo, as Harry mentioned a moment or two ago, and Scott told you all about that. But what a classy move by Trevor Linden. He's a classy young man.
Well, I'm sure that it surprised no one who knows Linden. The team comes first. That's always been the way he's operated, and it's no different today.
And you know, that's something that the Canucks can be very positive about. They can do nothing but help this team. We'll see how the season unfolds. Right now, they're leading 1-0 in this first game in a 2-game series here in Tokyo. The goal in the first period by Walker, unassisted. Now near the line. Solani didn't see the hit coming. It might have been worse than it really was. Oland had him lined up, and it wasn't a hard hit, but he dropped the player. Nonetheless, penalty being called now. And maybe Jelena will be the penalized player. Something happened near the blue line. Schick caught him for interference, likely. Here comes Jelena.
Well, he hooked the Mighty Duck player on the way into the Anaheim zone. You're going to see it right here. Knutson didn't fall down, but his progress was impeded, and that's the old definition of the obstruction rule. So the Mighty Ducks will get another power play here and get a chance to tie the game up. They are 0-4 in opening games since they entered the National Hockey League, and they want to break that streak, you can be sure.
Once again, a power play for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Trailing 1-0. Messier won the draw. Lume lots of time to shoot a high one down the ice. That'll be Trable coming back of the net to pick it up. And here he is, stepping in front. Down the left side. They do get it in. Calais just moved it in there. In behind the net. Young bumped. Got the puck back though. Left it for Pronger. He's out with a pass to the line, and Pronger gets it relayed. Hangs onto it. Maybe a little too long. It's intercepted. It'll be cleared by Roberts. Coming up with him, Messier to the net. Right in. Can't quite make contact on the backhand tip-in attempt in front. The backhand off the boards. And in behind the net. Soleil again. Leaving it. The lead pass by Trable, a good one. The drive by Sandstrom was grabbed by McLean, and boy, he must have been 10 feet outside the blue ice in front of the net, cutting the angle.
Thomas Sandstrom got off the wing. He's got a big-time shot, but McLean was at the bottom of the circle almost when he made the save. But here's the earlier chance. Roberts and Messier on a 2-on-1 while they're shorthanded. I don't know if that was a shot or a pass, but Messier couldn't get a stick on it. It's the third time shorthanded the Canucks have had a 2-on-1, and there's the stop I mentioned earlier. And look where McLean is when he finally grabs the puck.
Power play, again, they can't hang on to it. And it's running out, only 45 seconds left on this power play for the Mighty Ducks. Out they come. Solani has to chase it. He picked it up all right at center ice, but then he was covered immediately. And it's cleared back down the ice by Walker. 25 seconds left of the penalty. Jelena ready to come back on as the Ducks come through center ice again. They just seem happy to dump it in. The Ducks were back waiting for it. They do not get it out, however. Knutson made a nice pass. Sharp angle, though, for Solani. Back to the line. Dumped at the net. And the penalty has expired. The shot off the leg and went wide. Hit Ruchin standing up the side of the goal. Jelena on the ice after the puck. Leaving the penalty box and scooting in over the line. He is stopped. Got it back. Drive is right on. No problem, though. Noonan from a long way. Another one. And this one by Roberts is deflected high. So just over 3 minutes gone in the second. Still 1-0.
5 minutes. He scored 8 goals, 13 points, and has been a positive addition to the Vancouver Canucks coming over from Montreal. And he is a load, as a football coach would call a guy his size.
Roberts on the draw for Vancouver. He's moved up with Brashear and Bohannes. Sillinger suffering that cut yesterday after practice, at the tail end of the practice, really. Giveaway inside the line. Noonan couldn't hang on to it. Axel, good hustle by Roberts. Noonan was skating in front of the net. Oland from the blue line calmly dumped it up to the corner. Drury has his man covered, but the Canucks are looking pretty good inside that blue line and winning the little battles like this one to keep it in. A nice play. Ledyard cutting for the net. Centered it. And it's stopped by Hebert, but a penalty is coming on the play. The referee is knocked down. He seems to be hurt. And the big crowd gathers, but there's going to be a penalty against Anaheim. When this is done, there'll be more.
Aggressive forechecking by this line. Roberts and Brashear caused 2 or 3 turnovers, caused the chance on goal and the penalty. And here we have Bobby Dolis. Is it Dolis? No, it isn't. It's Brent Severin, who was picked up on waivers from the Colorado Avalanche, having battle with Big Brashear.
You get the feeling, Harry, that this crowd here in Tokyo was anticipating this might happen somewhere tonight. And boy, they're all standing. They got a kick out of it. That was not a heavyweight scrap in terms of how they were slugging it out. Heavy, yes.
Boy, you should have seen the spill that Rob Schick took while the delayed penalty was on. There is a penalty that before the fight started to the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. And Schick was hit and came right down awkwardly, I thought, on his head. But he appears to be all right.
Oh, he was spilled to the left of the net, just to the left of Hebert. And nobody saw it because away from that spot is where the fight started. But you're right, he had already made the sign and a penalty was being called, and McLean had left his net for the Vancouver bench.
Well, Brent Severin led the Colorado Avalanche with 193 minutes in penalties, and here we're going to show you the spill that Schick took. Ledyard cuts to the goal, makes the pass, and then goes around behind the net. And doesn't even see Schick and kicks the feet from underneath him. And the acrobatic Rod Schick goes down heavily, but appears to be all right.
He was slow getting up, all
yes,
right, but he's okay now. It appears he is anyway. Ouch. It's a solid hit.
I don't know what the penalties, unless they called for sure a penalty for an extra penalty on the fight. But here's Brashear, he and his line mates running around in this shift, causing all kinds of giveaways with that kind of hustle.
That might have been the penalty, the elbow. We'll know in a moment.
Well, there certainly was an original penalty on the play, and I thought it was to Anaheim. There it is right there. You can see that Noonan was knocked down by the Anaheim player, and that's what the Canucks are complaining about. They thought there was an original penalty. And away go Severin and Brashear, so we'll have to wait and get the official.
Brashear in the box. Severin is in the box also, and Knutson has joined him.
One thing for sure, when you fight Brashear, there'd be no chance of getting a hair-pulling penalty. We're still trying to get this straightened out. Brent Severin may be injured. So the minor officials are here from Vancouver, so they ought to be quite familiar with this kind of a situation. But a different clock and penalty timer may be causing a little bit of confusion.
Reichel now is in the penalty box. for Anaheim. 3 of them are in there. 1 obviously to serve a minor penalty. An extra minor, we should say, which no doubt has been assessed, and probably it was against Severin. That might have been the first call.
Well, anyway, it's 4 skaters, or 2 men short for the Ducks.
Canucks leading 1-0 and a great chance to pour some more in. Lume tries it. Shot is deflected. Canucks after it in there. In back of the net. Bure is on it all the way back along the boards to the line. He waits to get Lume open himself now. So is Lume. Back and forth. Bure shot. It was right on all right, but Hebert read the play perfectly and had the angle.
Nice job by the Duck defenseman clearing the path so Hebert could see the shot from Pavel Bure. You're going to see the 2 defensemen here, Mironov and Karpa. When the puck goes to the point, they head for a guy in the wrong colored uniform and try and get him out of there. So Hebert can concentrate on the shot or find the rebound if there is one.
Hebert ready. Bure looking for a new weapon. And he's got it.
You see Dave Keon Jr. in the background. He is trying to get the information to the Anaheim players. Who's got what penalty?
Bure, after the Canucks win the face-off, worked it behind the net, gets in front, and a quick shot again that Hebert was ready for. Lume is back. Bohannes on this side, and he has the puck with Messier circling by him. Naslund brings it in for Vancouver. Hebert out of the net to make sure he couldn't get near it. All the way back to Bure again. Ahead to Naslund, back to Bure. Bure outside to the line and ready now to come with a shot. Picton now shoots it. Loose puck at the side of the goal, and again Messier came close. Hebert watching it. That's Bure or Messier to the corner. Outside still, all the way back to the line, and Hebert has it all read perfectly. He's down now, and the puck loose for Bohannes. Dropped it back. Messier fired it back to him, and he wasn't ready to take that pass. Kept in, though, by Lume. He might shoot it. No, he doesn't. Not yet, anyway. Lume back at the line. Ready for it now. Dumped it at the net. Messier in behind the goalie, all right, but along the goal line and out the other side. Penalty running out. Long shot. Hebert stopped it, scrambled for it, and the Ducks are hanging on. Naslund knocked down in front of Hebert.
Hey, I like the work of Karpa and Mironov, the 2 Duck defensemen. They have done a nice job and a long job on this 2-men short situation, making sure that Hebert has a little help of seeing point shot or taking out. And Marcus Naslund couldn't get a stick on the puck. Give Karpa some credit. He was tying him up on a goal-mouth pass by Mark Messier. So Hebert, his 2 defensemen and the penalty-killing forward, did a nice job. Here's Mironov going to do a good job on Messier. The puck shot right here. Mironov can't do anything about the shot, but he certainly can get Messier on the outside of him, so Messier has a tough time going and retrieving a loose puck that's in around the net. Good job by Mironov on a guy that's not easy to cover, Mark Messier.
The penalties handed out a while ago back at 3:47. Brashear and Severin, of course, drew majors for fighting, but Severin got the extra 2 for being the instigator. He also got a 10-minute misconduct.
Tweed Knox over there repairing the ice. There's been problems right against the bottom of the boards, the yellow part of the boards there. The ice has been chipping away in hunks. The Japanese ice people wanted 4.5 inches of ice. And Dan Craig, the NHL ice maker from Edmonton, talked him into making it 2.5.
When he wanted it even less.
Yes, because he didn't want it to be as soft as it would have been with the 4.5-inch ice. The Japanese officials were worried about the Zamboni going through
for a swim.
For a swim if the ice was too shallow.
The pool underneath, of course. Well, good penalty killing by the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. They've killed them off and come up looking to tie the game down. One shot in from McLean was an easy save for him with a stick. He just put it down. Puck knocked into the corner. Ruchin trying to dig it out. Getting a little help from Knutson, but not enough apparently, as Vancouver's away, led by Jelena. He lost it crossing the line. Reached for it and couldn't get there. Dolis had his man tied up. And again, it's fired to center ice. Knutson is bumped off the puck. And Babbage comes back. Solani in there forechecking. Babbage again with a little help from Jelena. Babbage back up for Jelena. Got a stick on it, but Walker didn't see it. Fire missed it. Linden is in. Linden shot. Rebound. And Hebert's looking great now. Hebert picked one out, and the rebound came right back in front. And a good shot for him, but the glove went up.
Boy, Martin Jelena is talking to himself as he was the third man on the rush. Linden makes the shot right here, and this was a good stop by Hebert. But watch Jelena come down the middle as the Ducks all got mesmerized with the two Canucks going to the net. And the puck comes right out into the middle of the slot to Martin Jelena right here. And he figures he's got a slam dunk, but as you can see, it wouldn't have counted because Scott Walker was in the crease.
Still 1-0 Vancouver on the first period goal by Scott Walker. Unassisted goal. That's the only goal in the game. And we played nearly a period and a half, nearing the 7-minute mark of the second period.
Tom Rennie giving some instructions to Martin Jelena, and you can bet it was not about the missed goal. It probably was about something in his own end of the ring.
Roberts again for Vancouver on the draw. Poked it behind the net. Mighty Ducks on it, trying to get it out. They can't seem to get organized inside their own line, and give credit to Vancouver with fine forechecking. Not much time given. Roberts fell to his knees. The puck poked loose near the line, and Pronger turned it back deep. Penalty being called on the play. It'll be delayed. It's going to be against Vancouver, of course, with Anaheim on the puck and the net empty, as you see. A bear on the bench. Can they hang on to it long enough? Doing a pretty good job. Solani coming in, dropped it back, and here, Vancouver with control. Bohannes picked it up, and the play is stopped for the penalty. And another power play. When we come back, the Vancouver penalty against Roberts. David Roberts caught for tripping here at 7:29 of the second period.
And here it is right here. He's knocked down, and as Scott Young attempts to get to the puck, Roberts trips him, so a power play for the Ducks.
Face off just inside the line. It's immediately sent back out to the center ice area. That's Daniel getting back for it. Being hounded, though, on the play. Anaheim looking to tie it. Solani finds open ice to play to the far side, and Daniel had to turn away from a check. He and Ruchin come in. Knutson missed the pass. It got back as far as the line where Marinov stopped it. Knutson again looking to the net. Sharp angle for him, though. He might shoot it. Decides not to. The pass through center to Solani. And he took the shot and missed. Solani in the dig it out. Got by everybody all the way down the ice. 1:10 left on this power play. Anaheim Mighty Ducks slack in this department in this game today here in Tokyo. They're trailing 1-0. Solani again on the puck. Flip one into the big circle again to the left of the net, mind you. And no shot from there. They'll just pass it on the outside, knocked down in front by Mercer. Couldn't clear it, though. They keep it in for Marinov's shot. That's cleared. Conger's shot That's stopped by McLean. And finally Messier gets it up to center ice. 30 seconds left on the power play. No damage done yet. Solani trying it again. Drilled it all right. But right at McLean, and he hangs onto it.
Well, I mentioned earlier, McLean looks really comfortable. Now, most of the shots on this power play have been from the perimeter, but he has had 2 or 3 big stops to make here in the second period to keep his team ahead 1-0. And maybe the best one he made was right here on a shot from the point, or from the slot, with his left toe. So it's good news for Vancouver if McLean can play. Here is the surprise, the positive surprise of the camp, Espen Knutsen. You just had a look at him for a second. Jack Ferreira was saying that this Norwegian has been a real good addition to the team. He played last year in Stockholm, 49 points in 39 games. He had 5 points, all of them assists in the preseason. He was acquired in a trade from Hartford for Kevin Brown, and the Mighty Ducks think this kid could give them more offense, which was missing once you got Correa and Solani off the ice.
Face-off coming to the right of Kirk McLean. They haven't been able to beat him yet. This shot is off his stick and nowhere near the net. Anaheim trying to pick it up in there as Connor. Young took a quick shot, and McLean didn't have time to move. And they do tie the game.
Scott Young, who's playing his 600th career NHL game tonight, was acquired earlier in the week from Colorado for a 3rd-round pick. And I think you're going to see McLean get a bit of this shot, and it hit him and went back in through his leg. Here's another look at it. Pronger fights off Ledyard, gets it back, and there's the one-time shot, and it hit the inside of the right pad of McLean and deflected back into the net. And Scott Young gets his first goal as an Anaheim Mighty Duck, and it's on the power play. He had 18 goals last year, and he will be a good addition to the Duck forward brigade.
Power play goal by Scott Young, tying the game for the Mighty Ducks. 1-1. They had to get one sooner or later. Well, that was a quick shot by Young. A beauty. Roberts in for checking for Vancouver. Can't stop the rush. Up through center. Penalty in behind the play, I believe. Coming up, it's going to be against Anaheim when they get the puck. And it is. Penalty coming against Janssens. Janssen for interference. He's in the penalty box here at 9:42 of the second. Scott Young tying the game with a power play goal from Pronger and Sandstrom at 9:17. So 1-1 now, and Vancouver moving it out smartly. Oland just rolled it in over the line. It'll be cleared easily. He's back to pick it up himself. He and Ledyard get together. Canucks get it up to center ice. In on the boards, Ledyard. Ledyard trying to keep it in. Did put it in along the boards to the corner, and now backs up to the point spot. Linden saw him there, decided to go in deep with it. Trying to bank it in. Linden has it again. This time to Ledyard. On the other side. Miscue by Oland, and it's easily cleared. 1-1 tie here in the second, which is winding down just past the halfway mark of period number 2. Jelena back up. Nice play by Linden, trailing the play to pick it up. Pass was not intended for him. It was intercepted, and he grabbed it anyway. Linden to the line. Ledyard open, shot, tipped wide of the goal. Jelena got in front and did get a stick on it, but it went wide. Linden again. Back to the line. Babbage is open. However, the pass goes the other way, and at the side of the net, Linden has to come back with it. Now Babbage coming out. The shot off the stick and away wide of the net. It'll be cleared by Drury. in the penalty. Just 15 seconds. And just over 8 minutes left of the period. Long shot in from the point into the crowd. Naslund coming in, chasing and looking for it. Bumped off the puck goal. Babbage kept it in. Score! Nice passing play in front, and Naslund had the chance. Bure was with him. So was Messier. And Vancouver gets in front 2-1.
Well, a nice play right at the end of the power play on a goal-mouth pass to Mark Messier, I believe, who put it in from about 2.5 feet out. And there are two jolly Canuck fans giving Messier. And Karpa complained right there that Naslund should have got a penalty. But to no avail. And here's the pass from Naslund to Mark Messier, the captain of the Canucks, and he puts it in to score his first goal as a Vancouver Canuck before Mironov can get his stick tied up. The puck's in the net, and Messier gives his team a lead, 2-1. He scored 36 goals with 84 points last year with the New York Rangers, and if he does that again, he'll be a great addition to this Vancouver team.
So the Canucks in front again, 2-1 on that goal by the captain, Mark Messier. But a very pretty pass in deep. Naslund made a fine play. So Vancouver in front again. Second time in the game they have had a 1-goal lead. And up they move. Jelena waited for the pass, was intercepted, and shot back down the ice. Staios behind the goal. Babbage took a hit. Jelena stick handles away. Right wing pass. That won't work, but Linden was there to pick it up and just push it in deep. Crable back. Lost it. It is centered. Jelena was open for a second. They saw him and covered him quickly, and Solani had to move it fast and did not. Ruchin, he'll get it out, hooking it up the center, and it's brought in by Sandstrom, close to the net, could not get a shot, and Roberts back out for Vancouver. Brashear up with him. Just knocked it in behind the net. Easy play for Soleil. He got it out. Sacco chasing the puck. Doesn't get there in time, and again, Anaheim making changes, have to wait for them to get back inside and do. Playing out of the net a fair bit. Nearly got caught on a deflected shot. Sacco faked it, and then it was too late. He was flattened by Lume. 6:35 left to play in the second period. Canucks lead by a goal. Brashear up there. Trying to cut in, doing a pretty good job of it. Now he falls. And Slay, who had stayed with him, shot it on the boards in the corner. Poking it up was Olin. Messier again going for the short side. Didn't miss by much. Ducks slow clearing it. Brashear on a long ship. Tried to poke it back to Messier. Got in front himself. Olin missed it at the point, and it's into center ice.
Oh boy.
But he covered up all right. Took his man. And the Ducks couldn't move on it. Bure comes in with Messier. The pass. Right in front. A good play by Bure. Now he got it again. And Anaheim just hanging on. Get it out of there. Vancouver looking very sharp in this second period.
Certainly are a superior skating team, at least tonight, and they've been more aggressive. And it's led to some good chances to score.
So with 5:30 left of the second, it's 2-1 Vancouver.
Tonight's game sponsored by Chevrolet. Tried, tested, and true.
So here in Tokyo, it is 2-1 Vancouver Canucks leading the mighty Ducks of Anaheim. And the crowd, you can tell, are enjoying this hockey game. The first of a 2-game series. The first ever regular season NHL game outside North America. and we are delighted you have joined us here on the CBC network. Bure drilling a shot from the blue line to get his first. You know, you could tell this guy was hot and looking for something big in this period. He has just come through with one of those bullets, and it's 3-1 Canucks.
A one-time 50-footer by Bure from the middle of the rink after the puck could not be corralled by Scott Young, and there it is right there. And whenever you get a guy who can shoot it on the one-time situation, the goaltender never gets a chance to get set. And you can see Hebert was still moving a little bit to get to the middle of the net when the puck went by him. It's Pavel Bure. A little mustard on one from 50 feet out, and it's 3-1 Vancouver with 5:19 to go in the second period.
So 14:41 then, with 5:19 to go. The time of the goal by Bure. Naslund getting an assist. Great shot by Bure, though. Ledger got the other assist. So it's 3-1 Canucks. And they pour it on again. This is Roberts coming in this time. Trying to hit Brashear, skating in front of the goal. Noonan takes a bump and takes the puck. Cut away from Marinov. Pass comes all the way back to the point. In there for Brashear, and he left it. Really couldn't control it. And it's cleared away by Anaheim. Sacco. Moved it out by McLean. Here all the way back. Swinging away from Voracek. Now he's coming up there, forechecking himself. Daigneault is there in front of him. And J.J. Daigneault put it up on the right wing boards. Ruchin trying to feed it into Solani. That does not work. And Walker got it in. Is right in. Couldn't get a backhander. Has it again. Centered it. And the play stopped. That net came off the moorings quickly as it was bumped by the crowd. We'll be back.
We're back in Tokyo with the man who makes the ice, Dan Craig of NHL Operations. A tremendous battle with heat and humidity on your hands, and there's a little bit of fog and chippiness to the ice. What is it that is the battle?
Battle is the humidity is very high in here today, and we're trying to keep the heat load down as low as we can, which means that we try to get the ice a little bit colder than what we would normally get it, so it causes chippiness, especially along the boards, and we have to do quite a few repairs here.
Guys out there working on it right now, but Dan, you told me that there's a telltale sign that you know you're doing a good job and that it's still okay.
Well, it's okay, because if you take a look at the way that Scott Young scored his goal, the pass came to him and he one-timed it, the pass was flat, and that's what we look for in the game.
Same thing with Pavel Bure. You're doing a great job, Dan. Thanks a lot.
The crew is hanging in here, so we'll do the best we can to get both games together here.
Way to go, Bob.
You know, we really haven't mentioned it. They have done a noble job given the weather conditions. We've had beautiful weather here in Tokyo, 24, 25, 26 degrees Celsius. The sun has been out every day, even though rain was predicted yesterday. That did not materialize. In other parts of southern Japan, I understand it did rain, but not here. And he's had a tough time trying to keep the temperature, surface temperature down here in this building. Well, this is game one of the two games scheduled for Tokyo. The National Hockey League. In other parts of the world, Toronto Maple Leafs will meet the Islanders in New York tomorrow. And we're game two. Don't forget, it all starts at 7 o'clock Eastern time. That's 4 Pacific. That's the pre-game show from Toronto. And we're part two of the doubleheader with game two of this one, Vancouver and Anaheim. Scott Young tied it on a power play goal. Shot missing. Messier scored from Naslund and Babbage. And now Bure. And here's Solani. Can't get a shot through the crowd. Bure from Naslund. Ducks coming back. Shooting from close in. And with a big crowd in front, Trevor Linden got a stick on it, cleared it away. Walker and Jelena. Can't get a shot. Jelena, it's scooped away by Hebert. They keep it inside the line along the boards. A lot of traffic there, though. So no play materializing. It'll be the Ducks who'll clear. Only 3:20 remaining in the period. Solani, chance, shot! Gone. Good angle on that one, too, and McLean was out meeting him. Jelena back in the other way. Jelena tucked to the head. Walker winding up, dropped it back, and that's easily intercepted. And Toski around the goal and swinging down the right side. He gets it over the line and gave it away. Messier tried to drop it back, had to move quickly to get away from the hit. Ledyard is on the rush. They go offside.
Mark Messier, who took the hit, is real slow getting up. It didn't look like it was a big-time body check, but obviously Messier hurt himself on it and can't get up, and this Warrior doesn't lie around on the ice very often when he's hurt, and he looks to be in a fair amount of pain. He passed the puck and then took the hit just inside his own end along the boards. Here it is here. He passes the puck here and takes the hit. Hard to tell there.
Well, I saw him go back trying to get away from the hit. It appears he twisted his knee, Harry.
He might have. Mark Jansen's number 18 was the deliverer of the check. There was nothing dirty about it. And Messier may have hit his foot on the boards.
Could be.
And twisted his ankle or his knee. He's up now.
Boy, we hope he's okay. Not game one.
No, that would be an awful blow. This guy's made of steel. So we know, but he looks in more pain than I've seen him in leaving the ice. It looks like it's his left leg or ankle. So I think he's going to go into the dressing room and have the doctor have a look at it. Here's another look right here. Here's the hit. He just gets a little bit of Messier. He doesn't quite get all the way out of the way of Jansen. And then down Messier goes as the Canucks are rushing up the ice with the puck. And Mark Messier, who's in a fair amount of pain, is hobbling to the Vancouver dressing room here to be looked at. And you know he'd be going to the bench if he didn't think it was serious, or he was in just a small amount of pain. Here's another look right here.
You see him go back trying to... He saw the hit coming.
But he couldn't quite get out of the way. Whether that was his knee or his ankle, we don't know. We'll get his update as soon as we can on it.
2:40 left in the period. 3-1, Vancouver. And score! Beautiful tip in by Antonsky. He just kept driving through the net, and the pass came over. And he was in a spot to just make contact, and Ducks fight back. They're within one.
It didn't look like it was an odd man rush. It looked like the Canucks had plenty of people back, but nobody took Antosky, and he just went right down the middle of the rink and just redirected it in. Here he comes here onto the left, on the right of your screen. The back checker cannot catch him, let him get in front of him, and he just redirects the pass. And it was a nice pass right here. And there he is all alone, and Brian Noonan was the culprit who let him go to the net. And it cost the Canucks a goal.
17:22, the time of that goal. And Toski gets it. Reichel and Jansen getting the assist. And it's 3-2 now, Vancouver. Ducks in again, but not for long. Brashear tipped it. However, it goes all the way down the ice. That'll be an icing call against Vancouver with only 2:03 remaining in the second period. It's a one-goal game again.
John Antosky, who came over from Pittsburgh in a trade late in the year, only played 2 games. As I mentioned, had hernia insurance last year. He only played 2 preseason games and got a goal. And here comes the goal again on a wider shot. And you can see that Antosky just beat Noonan to the net. And by the time Antosky got there, Warren Reichel laid over a beautiful pass. Antosky just had to get his stick on the pass, and it went by a helpless Kirk McLean.
Jansen had started the play, and he got the other assist. So Antosky from Reichel and Jansen, 17:22. Face off to the left of Kirk McLean. Vancouver controlling on the draw. Lumet tipped it ahead swiftly. And Linden comes up over center, gets to the net. Jelena tried to feed it through for him. Linden on it again, working hard for Vancouver. He and Jelena on the boards is Jelena, but he's checked quickly. And they stay close to him, but not close enough. He's loose again. Tried to make the setup in front. He did. Walker had a great chance. Merson flipped it off a leg and in wide. Again, Walker takes it, and the net is off. So they have to stop the play with 1:22 left.
Walker, who scored the first goal of this game, had a great opportunity to score and just misfired. You can see the net came off. I'm not sure that they're fastened down as tightly as they are in NHL rinks. But J.J. Daigneault coughed the puck up, and Walker ended up, after this play right here by Daigneault, when you're going up the middle of the rink out of your own end, you got to make sure the puck gets there. Walker just misses on a bad angle shot.
So just over a minute left in the second. A one-goal game again, thanks to the goal by Antosky at 17:22. This puck not for a bear, I'll tell you. He was down pretty fast when he saw the Canucks steaming at him. Bure, one of them. So he had to cover up.
I wonder why Bure did change his number from 96 to 10. Bob, we got to check that out. We'll let you know tomorrow once we get the answer. And here's a nice stop by Guy Hebert.
You know when he decided to change the numbers?
Last night. Well, we're going to find out, folks, and tell you why. The same player, different number. And he's going today.
Roberts looking for it, but again, it's off the stick and into the crowd.
There are all kinds of employees from the NHL office here. Lori Bush, the director of special events, a Western Canadian girl, is here and found out this morning that her grandmother, Florence Sundin, passed away. Lori's parents, Shirley and Dean, live in Gray, Saskatchewan. So this is an awful tough game for her, and we give our sincere sympathies on behalf of the NHL and Hockey Night in Canada to Lori's family. Lori Bush's father, Dean, is the distant relative of Garth Bush, the former Toronto Maple Leaf defenseman.
Famous defenseman with that mustache.
Yes, the only one for many years.
Left collision in center ice, allowing the Ducks to come in again. McLean covering up. Loose puck for a second, and it's fired out of there. Lane sharp again. Right in on top of him was Ruchin, who has the puck now. Rolls it up to Solani. Solani over the line with it. Trying to drop it back, and Cameron Linden was expecting that, and he turns it back, and he has two mates with him. Trying to drop it to Jelena. He has it off to one side of the net, comes in front. Tucked it by Bear out the other side. Walker tried to center it. Bobby Dolis gets it up near the line, but not out. Roberts shot. And that's into the crowd. We have a moment to visit with Scott and the news on Messier.
Thanks very much, Bob. Just outside the Vancouver Canuck locker room, and they tell me that Mark Messier is being looked at the doctor by the doctor right now. He's got perhaps a minor Charlie horse after taking the knee on the play, as you saw. So Mark Messier being examined by the doctors right now, but they think a minor Charlie horse.
You know, thanks, Scott. Nobody wants a Charlie horse, but in this case, that's pretty good news.
That's better than an ankle or knee ligament problem. So let's hope Mark improves quickly, because it would be dreadful news for the Vancouver Canucks to lose their new captain this early in the season for any length of time.
18 seconds remaining in the second period. The Canucks opened up a 2-goal spread at one point. Didn't have much time to enjoy it, as the Mighty Ducks came back to make it close again. It's 3-2, second period winding down, Vancouver in front. Face off for the Canucks inside the line. Charging in Oland. Has to go in deep. And he was caught by Pronger. And the Mighty Ducks get it out and down the ice. Ledyard had to hurry back. Bure over there cruising for it, but the puck comes the other way, and the horn goes to end it. here in the second period. And a one-goal game it is.
A much more entertaining period the second period was. I'm not so sure the coaches of either team will agree, but for you and I, Bob, and the fans, a nice show by two teams determined to get 2 points tonight.
Young scored for Anaheim to tie it on a power play, but then Messier, Bure, and then Antoski for the Mighty Ducks, the goal scorers in that second period. So as they leave after 40 minutes here in Tokyo, the score, Vancouver 3, Anaheim 2.
And Anaheim, a pretty good game, all things considered. That's a noon start, and I know you players hated to play that time of the day.
Yeah, players, they really get out of sync with a noon start. You know, Kirk McLean looked so good early in this hockey game, but I didn't like his goal. Scott Young blasted one, it hit his leg and went in, and ever since then he's looked shaky in goal. And you know, Ron, the Canucks have blown leads throughout the exhibition series. I'm not big on exhibition games and what they mean, but right now they're sure they're in the locker room, one, worried about Mark Messier, and two, worried about blowing another lead, something they did 4 times in their exhibition season.
Yeah, it'll be a little test, and especially the goal by Antoski came right on the heels of the injury to Mark Messier, and sometimes a little shock sets in. We're going to have one more look at this, and we're not doctors, so tough to diagnose, and the first report, or initial report, is possible Charlie horse and nothing more. But here's how the knee-on-knee collision takes place, and you can see it's just above the knee, don't you think, Greg? Although,
well, we sure hope so. I mean, Mark couldn't get out of the way of that, but Antoski led with his knee, and I don't like to see that when players do that.
I think
pardon me, Jansen's, and I know it wasn't intentional, but still, a good hard shoulder check, I don't mind. But when players lead with their legs, that's what happens, and Mark Messier's down, and we all hope it's just a Charlie horse.
What's the story on Espen Knutson, who's trying to fill Paul Kariya shoes for the Ducks?
Well, we all remember him in Lillehammer at the Olympics, and he was this flashy, blonde-haired kid. They called him Shampoo. His father was a hairdresser. His nickname is Soap. But anyway, he's a flashy kid, and whether or not he can do it or not remains to be seen at this level. I don't know how tough he is.
I knew I'd regret asking you that question. All right, vital moments from the second period. We'll continue our coverage from Tokyo and Toronto on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Of Team Canada headed for the Olympics that year in Albertville, well, actually this year in Calgary and then Albertville. He used to be the King of Canada. For the last 2 years, Emperor of Japan, and I asked him how that happened.
Well, when I left the Flames, or was let go by the Flames, I guess is a more descriptive way to put it, I decided to try my hand in Japan, and I had 2 real good seasons there, Ron. Really enjoyed it. It's a great culture, and of course ice hockey in that culture is a little different, but I really enjoyed myself.
What kinds of things did you try and do?
Well, I did a lot of work with their national team getting ready for the Nagano Olympics. We wanted to identify the key players, work with the coaches who were working with those players to make them better, and also did some work with the Nagano facilities, looking at some things there in terms of the planning for the actual Olympic Games.
Well, let's begin with Nagano and the Olympic Winter Games. What sort of interest level is there in Japan?
Well, it's very high, I think, because the NHL is going to send over the best players. It's never been achieved before, best on best, and at anything. And now it's the Olympic Games. We've got the best players against the best players at a key time of the year. Everybody's very excited because there'll be some major names over there. It'll be a very exciting tournament. The people in Nagano run are well organized, so I think it'll be a very good Olympic Games.
Dave, you had the opportunity to head up Canada's national team for 3 Olympiads. You had roughly 3 years to prepare for the 15-day tournaments. Now it appears they'll have 2 to 3 days to get set for 10 days. Do you see that as the key aspect in all of this?
That's very true. The short-term preparation for all the teams is going to be very challenging for the coaching staffs to get teams to be well-oiled machines and play very well together. That's the challenge the coaches and the players face. But the format, Ron, of the Olympics is pretty good. There's a pretty good chance the top teams will all qualify for the next round, the championship round and the medal round. So I think it's going to be interesting. I think that Canada's got a good hockey team and will do well.
Is Canada the favorite?
Yeah, I think Canada's the favorite. I think Canada's got more depth than anyone else. The Americans got a good team too, and the Russians, the Czechs, the Swedes, the Finns are all competitive countries. But I really sense just around the league this year, Ron, talking to players through the preseason, everybody wants to play on that team. It's a real big event, and I think all our players are going to play and look forward to it.
Tremendous hype, tremendous pressure. Not that you're advising or counseling Bobby Clark and his staff on how to select the team, but what do you think is the most vital component to putting Canada's team together?
Well, there's 2 things. One, player selection. You have to take some players that are comfortable in certain roles. Sometimes it takes a fella 2 or 3 weeks to figure out his role, and then they're fine. But you have no camp like a Canada Cup where you've got 2 or 3 weeks. You've got a couple of days, and you've got to jump into competition. So selection of players, making sure you've got guys that are already familiar with certain roles is important. For the coaching staff, you've got a very little bit of time, so you've got to make sure you use it wisely and don't overload the players. They're good players. They've got good skill, good instincts. You've got to rely on some of that.
I remember you telling me Herb Brooks said good to be good, better to be lucky.
It always helps, Ron.
Well, let's talk a bit about your Montreal Canadiens and the luck of a 2-2 tie against Ottawa in Game 1. Francois Groslo and Darcy Tucker. I hear they were the best. Is that true?
Yeah, two players that, don't get a lot of ink. And Frank Groslo is up from our American League team and played a very steady game for us. A player people wouldn't know much about. Played very steady, played within his game, and played well. Darcy is really competing, which he always does so well, and they gave us a good, strong effort, those two.
How about for tomorrow in Boston? I hear that Mark Recchi has still headaches, and Shane Corson apparently took a whack on the elbow. How are those two players doing?
Shane's fine. He practiced today, and he'll be okay to play. Mark has still got a few effects of that concussion, and we hope it's not serious because he's a great player, and we really need him to play for us, Ron.
Your neighbor, Herb Pinder, out west, was the one who put you in touch with Andy Moog. How do you describe your strength in net now with Andy bringing all that experience along with Jocelyn Thibault?
Well, thank you, Herb Pinder, because we do have Andy Moog, and he's a great player, and he played very well for us. There's no question, Ron, our first game against our first game here against Ottawa, he was really important. He was the first star in the game in terms of how he played, and Andy's played well in the preseason. He gives us stability in the room, too, which we really is an added bonus for our team.
So, Dave, to summarize, now that you've looked a bit, what kind of team do you have?
Well, we're a team that I think is still going to take some time to evolve. We've got some talent offensively. I think our defense has to improve and get better. I like our goalkeeping. We're solid in that one key position. So it's early, Ron. You haven't got a lot of time in the preseason to work on a lot of things, but the guys have worked very hard. They're in very good condition. I think if we can get this team to collectively play the way they can and everybody stress personal improvement, our team will get better.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, Ron.
An interview with Dave King recorded this afternoon before he flew to Boston for tomorrow night's game against the Bruins. Dick Irvin will be there and have reports throughout the night on doubleheader Saturday. 3-2 Vancouver leads, and we're getting word Messier's through for the night. More on
Ron, Teemu Selanne wearing the C for the Anaheim Mighty Ducks in the absence of Paul Kariya. What's this whole experience in Japan been like so far?
So far, everything has been just great, and we have a lot of guys that never have been here before, so this is a great trip for us. And but the most important thing is that we could win these games, and we are working hard.
Missing Paul Kariya is such a big thing. Can you express how important he is to your club and how soon you'd like him back?
Well, of course, when your best player is out, it's going to affect your team a lot. But of course, we like to have Paul here, especially me. I really miss him. But the bottom line is that we have to try to find a way to win the games without him because he's not here, and we can't give up. We have to keep the game simple and try to work hard.
Down by 1 after 2, what do you like about what your team's doing?
I think we were a little bit nervous in our own zone, and we did a couple of mistakes that cost us a couple of goals, but I think the second period was a little bit more better, but third period, that's the one key thing for us this coming year. We really have to play well all the time in the third period.
Thanks a lot, Teemu. Good luck.
Thank you.
Teemu Selanne of the Mighty Ducks. Ron, back to you.
Thank you, Scott and Teemu. Well, Mark Messier, as we say, it appears a Charlie horse. He had a bad groin in camp, but he looked to be flying tonight prior to this injury. What's this going to do, Greg, in the room for Vancouver?
Well, it takes away from the momentum of the room. You're missing Mark Messier, your team leader, but you still have a job to do is go out and play. But there's a little man in the back of your head saying, geez, can we do it without Mark?
Now, you saw the concern with Pat Quinn. We have a little lengthier intermission with the problems on the ice. Let's go to the Senior VP of Hockey Operations with Scott.
Ron, with NHL Vice President Brian Burke, you've done a lot of work here. How do you like the results so far, Brian?
Great. So far, very happy with the arena. The crowd's into it, and we've got a pretty good hockey game.
Do you think that this is the kind of market that you'd like to expand to? Do you think these people can catch on to a game? Many of them aren't very familiar with it.
No, they're not familiar with hockey, but there is a professional league here, and we think that will change over time. And the reception we've gotten, our players have gotten, has been very enthusiastic. So we definitely think there's a market here.
You've done the best with everything you can. Do you ever worry about a freak accident on ice that is tough, to say the least?
Well, the ice, I think right now, at the start of the game, the ice meets all of our standards. The temperature in the building and the ice surface temperature was exactly what we would have in an NHL building. We've had Dan Craig here, our ice guy, for a week. The ice isn't a problem. We've got a couple little glitches along the boards, but I don't think it's a problem as far as the game. The puck's not bouncing a lot or anything else like that. So, no, I think this is perfect.
Do you envision something like this happening again in the future down the road, maybe next year?
I hope so. I think this is great for hockey. I think it's great for the NHL. I think it's great for the country that we bring the event to. So I hope we can do it somewhere next fall.
Brian, thanks a lot. And we got ourselves all turned around now, but it seems we're going in the right direction. Thanks.
Thanks, Scott.
Brian.
Thanks to Brian and Scott. Bob?
Okay, Ron, the third period is underway. It is a 3-2 hockey game. Canucks are on top, and they're offside.
Well, they had a nice 3-on-2 going there, and the play was blown down on the offside. Mark Messier did not come out of the dressing room to even try it in the third period.
Coming into the second, it was 1-0 Vancouver. Anaheim got a goal on a power play. The only power play goal of the game. Young scored it. Messier made it 2-1. Bure on a dandy shot from just inside the line made it 3-1. And Toski at 17:22 for Anaheim got the Mighty Ducks close. Vancouver 0 for 6 in the power play in the game, and Anaheim 1 for 4. This is Mironov stepping across the line, deciding to hang on to it, and then he was checked and backhanded the puck in deep. Trying to center it now. Pronger got it back in front. Shot! Playing covered in front. Pronger after it to the corner. Solani whipped a pass in there right in front of the net. McLean down. Kick one out. They knock it in. The red light does not come on. And the referee, Rob Schick, is in behind the goal. And he's down on one knee. I'm not sure if he's bumped to the ice again or not. There's McLean getting up, and he has the puck.
Well, Schick was in perfect position. Now, he may well want to go upstairs. Yes, he's going to Paul Dvorsky, who is the video goal judge. And I don't know whether we've got unless we have a camera that shoots up from through the ice, we may never know whether that puck was in. But when you don't know, you go to the man in the box, and there's Brian Burt with Paul Dvorsky. Paul on the left is the referee for tomorrow. He's got the phone, and they're going to have a look and see if they can clarify whether this puck went over the line or not. The Mighty Duck players threw their hands up in the air. Obviously, Schick had not blown the whistle. If he had, they wouldn't be going over here to see whether it was in or not. Pierre Page, this is the 4th NHL team he's coached. Minnesota, Quebec, Calgary, and now the Mighty Ducks. And let's have a look and see whether we can give you an early diagnosis as whether this puck went over the line or not.
Well, you know, he's got his arm down, and he's got his glove along the goal line. It's hard to tell from that. This might be a better shot, but Kirk McLean, I think, does a pretty good job of covering the entire net.
Now, you have to see the puck over the line. You can't assume it's under his equipment over the line, and that's exactly what Timo Solani is hearing from Rob Schick at the moment. He couldn't see it, and neither could the video replay show it. So it remains 3-2 Vancouver after just 1 minute of the third period.
Solani thought maybe they had the tying goal, but no such luck. It was not in. At least we couldn't tell if it was in, so you have to say no goal. Had a good look at it upstairs, and you at home had a good look at it from our angle from behind the net. So it's still 3-2 Vancouver. Karpa will have to hurry back, and he does. That's icing.
Well, Marcus Naslin's the only player in either team that has more than 1 point. He has 2 assists. Pavel Bure has a goal and 8 shots on goal. So they are the 2 big-timers as far as the offense of the Canucks are concerned.
They make some announcements here for the hockey crowd. And that one was Harry Icing Good. Icing.
That's icing?
That's icing.
Now, if you just tuned in, the team in white is the Vancouver Canucks in their new uniforms. This will be uniform number 4, I guess, that they've gone to over the years.
Here comes Trevor Linden. Grabbed from behind. Play keeps going, though. Linden went down. The puck went in there right to the net. And it's the Ducks coming back out. However, it bounced high over the stick of Sandstrom. And he was flying down the left wing. Ducks back in their own zone. And Sandstrom picked it up, and he lost it. Karpa checked quickly. Solani with a puck and coming away. Up with Pronger. Nice play to Marinov. With the shot. Played in great position. Tapped that one away to Trevor Linden. That one was nearly intercepted too. All the way down the ice again. And there's another icing goal for you, Harry.
Well, Pierre Pagé is one of 10 new faces as far as the team they're coaching is concerned. Now, he has coached before, obviously, other teams in the league, but there are 10 guys coaching a brand new team this year. Sutter, Wilson, Schoenfeld, Sutter, Burns, Cashman, Vigneault, Ruff, and Constantine. The question, Bob, is how many of these new faces will be old faces with the same team by next June 1st?
Ledyard behind the net for Vancouver. He doesn't get the puck clear of the line. Haslam tried to get it out and did not. Ruchin behind the net. His pass was a swift one. And went all the way down the ice as Bobby Dolis couldn't move on it quickly enough. Saleh starts back. No icing on this one, and McLean knew it, so he's out of the net to play it quickly before any of the Mighty Ducks could get in. But they're in there now for checking. Pass knocked down by Young, and he lost it. Roberts back out. His pass intercepted, and Bure was open and flying. Oland around the net, started this play. Bure will leave it. And again, turning back is Oland. Roberts can't find it. Bure was up there all right, but Dolis stepped right in front of him and took the puck away. Once again, Crable flipping it back to Daigneault. Daigneault got it ahead, and it shot in deep, and no problem. Savage back, lots of time to move it. He does. Score is 3-2. Vancouver leading the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. We are nearing the 4-minute mark of the third period. A sellout crowd somewhere in the vicinity of 10,000. The Yoki Arena in Tokyo. Puck over the boards into the crowd. Play stop. And Vancouver continues.
Japanese hockey fan with his duck collar, trying to urge on the Mighty Ducks. Now knows being seen right across campus.
Last report we heard on Mark Messier was
will not be back tonight. He's showering at the Charlie Horse. They're not sure whether he can play tomorrow or not. So hopefully it is not a knee or an ankle problem. Even though he might miss tomorrow, he'll be back soon at Charlie Horse.
That's what's happening here. Leading by a goal. And Anaheim hanging on now. From the line, Steus throwing it in behind the net. Walker knocked it loose. Jelena has it to Walker. Walker again coming away to the boards. Linden has to come out to help. He spins away from his check. Sandstrom knocks the puck down. Couldn't get it out. Daigneault around the net for Crable. And he got it out. That might be icing all the way down there. And icing, in fact, it is with 15:25 remaining in the third period.
Well, Tom Rennie weathered the storm last year that some coaches couldn't when the team did not live up to expectations. Glenn Hanlon, you can see him in the blue blazer. Stan Smeel are on the bench. Two former Canucks and two of the great guys in the business. Stan Smeel, the leading scorer in the history of the Canucks, and Glenn Hanlon started his illustrious career there as Stan. Well, he never took an easy step in any game he played in the National Hockey League.
And Sacco starting the play. Ruchin pushed a pass up on the right side. They couldn't pick that up. Anaheim trailing by a goal. Mironov to center. They caught him in a hurry, and he let the pass go too quickly, so that'll be an icing call. And they'll bring it all the way back inside Anaheim blue line.
Well, it looks to me like the Vancouver Canucks have gone into a cautious game and not forechecking with the enthusiasm and that they showed in the second period, trying to force the Anaheim Mighty Ducks into a gambling situation in an attempt to tie it up. And Pierre Pagé, I'm sure, is quickly going to get on his Anaheim Ducks and say, we got to take a chance or two here quickly and tie this hockey game up.
And Toski got him close at 17:22 of the second period. There has been no scoring since. And not many real good chances. That shot by Bure was nowhere near the net. It's shot back out over the line into the center ice area. Mighty Ducks back to pick it up. They nearly give it away. Mironov has to back up. They caught him quickly. Ruchin knocked it in over the line. It's centered. Sacco trying to hit Young with a pass. Young has to go to the boards. They caught him. And Roberts for Vancouver just lifted one back out into center ice. Bure tried to pick it off. Mironov back in. He shoots it in from center, and they're changing as the play goes on. And we are nearing the 6-minute mark of the third period. Still 3-2. Vancouver. Bure. He did a trick or two and lost it. Severin wouldn't go for the last move. Roberts chased it. And it's fired in behind the Anaheim net, giving Vancouver Canucks a chance to change them up. Severin's long pass. Down for Drury. He was pounded right away. And the Canucks get it back out to center ice. They're checking even more closely now. Walker went in there. He scored the first goal of the game. 12-10 of the first period, unassisted. First goal of a game played by NHL teams. Regular season game outside North America. And the famous puck, historical puck really, will go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Toronto will be in New York to play the Islanders out on Long Island tomorrow. Part 1 of our Saturday night doubleheader on CBC. Part 2, Harry and I and Scott and everybody right here again in Tokyo.
Well, it's an all-sports day on CBC. The BC Lions travel to Toronto to play the Argonauts, 2 o'clock in the East, 11 o'clock Pacific. A big-time CFL game as their season starts to wear down. Bob, not too distant in the future, you and I will be back about 90 minutes from here on the bullet train to the Olympics. And what a tournament that's going to be. And we're bringing every single game to you on CBC. More than 120 NHLers will be taking part in the 98 Olympic hockey tournament.
Nagano, Japan. It'll be a great tournament. First time ever National Hockey League players in the Olympics. They're playing down. Big scramble. And the puck goes behind the net. Out of harm's way. Canucks skate back hard to center. Honest tried to go in. They caught him. Brashear flipped one into the corner. Now he comes in looking for it. Big Brashear bumped a little bit. He took that easily. Noonan and Brashear. Brashear still trying to get it off the boards and does. Took a hit. Kept going. He was bumped by Soleil. That didn't hurt. And now it's cleared out of the zone by Jansen. Vancouver back. A little bit of open ice and a quick change with Brashear, though. And he was likely tired on that long shift and stopped and headed off. Coming up to 8 minutes of play in the third. Still, Vancouver Canucks by just 1 goal. Anaheim having some chances to tie it. Conger is in there now. Bumped in on the boards and the puck rolling in front of the net. Cleared away and out by Stayos. Treble shot it across center ice. Pace has slowed tremendously down. I know they were saying the ice is pretty good for the hockey game, but at this stage of the game, it has to slow down a bit. It's still warm now inside this building with the sellout crowd.
Well, the Canucks want to slow it down and not make it wide open at all and see if they can protect this 1-goal lead for the third period.
Linden did pass one in front. But Jelena was covered. Now Young the other way, dropping it back. Sacco to Young. Can't get a shot, though. Linden caught up to him. Canucks speed back the other way. Turning with it, Jelena. Around the net, he got in front quickly, and a penalty coming up against Anaheim, I do believe. The goalie ended up in the net. And the net down on top of him. There'll be a penalty to the penalty of the hockey game.
And here, Martin Jelena, who's got a step on Daniel, tries to cut out from behind the icing line and is cross-checked into the goaltender by Daniel. Daniel's beaten on the play, so he cross-checks Jelena, and the net comes right down on Hebert. So the Canucks get a power play with 11:13 left in the third period, and they're holding a 1-goal, 3-2 lead.
Looking for their first power play goal of the game. They had 4 previous chances. This would be a huge goal for Vancouver. As we near the 9-minute mark of the third period, they're leading by just 1 now. Winning the draw is the first step. They've done that. Got the puck to Bure. And he hangs on to it. Back to the line, and Bure again likes to shoot. Does right on. Bure. Another shot. 2 in a row by Hebert to the blue line. Off the crossbar. Red light went on, but it did not go in. It hit the pipe and stayed out. Vancouver circling quickly, and away comes Oland, looking pretty good in this rush, and that shot nearly got through. Hebert got a piece of it, just enough. Kept in at the line by Ledyard. The other way is Dolis, chance to shoot it down the ice, and does, killing some time. In the penalty, 50 seconds gone. Ledyard stepping around the net and starting to play to the right side to Linden. Coming through center against Young, beat him with the pass. Lume is in there, spinning back. He was caught, so he just backhands it across the rink, and they get it out. Ledyard couldn't stop it. Bure remains on and comes up for the puck, but it went over his head. Young lifting a high one away. Now to Lume from the goaltender. And Linden comes up over the line with Jelena with him. That's broken up by Ruchin. He shoots it down the ice. 30 seconds left in the penalty. Still 3-2 Vancouver. And up they come. 3 of them over the line. Close call, but they stay onside barely. Babbage on the boards. Left it for Jelena. Misfired on the pass. Carpet took a swing at it. Stays in there, though. Now out. Lume didn't know where it was. It hit a stick and went over the boards at the bench. And the play is stopped. And only 5 seconds left in the penalty.
Well, as you can see, the Vancouver Canucks scored 51 power play goals last year. That ranked them 10th in the National Hockey League. And I'm sure they hope to improve that this year with the addition of Oland, who's been their best defenseman in camp, according to the coaching staff. And he was the player that rattled one off the goalpost that nearly gave them a power play goal tonight. And here is what I'm talking about. Nice stop by Hebert on that one. And another good stop by Hebert. But here's the one that Hebert doesn't stop, but he hears that beautiful noise that tells the goalie it did not go in, even though he was beaten.
Just told that Trevor Linden has left the ice and has gone to the dressing room. Hopefully for the Canucks, that's equipment damage. And now they tell us, in fact, it is. Skate problem. Messier already out, the last period. Charlie Horse. Vancouver leading by a goal. Looking for 2 points in this first of 2 games to be played here in Tokyo, Japan. Ojek off the boards with it. Didn't look in front of the net. Nobody was there. Only Ducks, and they get it out. Brought in over the line by Knutson. Can't make a play. Kept in at the line by Dolis. Knutson dropped it back. Backhander by Drury. Rattles off the glass high. Drury in to hit his man, but the puck gets by him and out and down the ice. 8:30 left in the third. Vancouver trying now to contain the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Brashear was hit, trying to jam through 2 checkers. Bure stopped it, backhands it in for Brashear. Dulles on him, can't handle him. Bure in front of the net. And Roberts couldn't get it over to him. Bure back checking now. And Solani caught. He couldn't make a play easily. Bure is open on the wing. And he takes a pass that falls. And took the shot anyway. Bure had the crowd electrified. He was wide open and tripped just as the gates.
I wonder why he fell here. It may be that the ice, they're all by himself, one of the better skaters in the National Hockey League. He's still got a bit of a shot away. Let's have a look. He's on that right skate, hit something, or wouldn't have gone down like he did, and had he not gone down, he would have waltzed right in almost all alone on Hebert.
And the crowd was ready for it. They were jumping. There he is again. Golfing one from outside the line and got that right on the net. Hebert caught it. No problem. This is Mark Jensen. Down the wing. Can't get too far near center ice. The Canucks are back, being very careful. Stay up there to shoot it in again. Treble played it the other way. It's kept in by Roberts. Bure was open, but they couldn't get the puck up to him. Now Roberts will try it again. Bure on the right, but covered. He goes to the net, and it bounced over to stick behind the goal. Once again, Mighty Ducks unable to get on track to their own zone. This time they're forced to shoot it away. It's all the way down the ice, and they're going to call that icing and bring it back. And 7 minutes left in the third.
Well, for $250 American dollars, you can sit in these seats that are located right behind the bench. They are the not the permanent seats. And when the puck is on their side of the ice in either corner, they have to stand up to see it, especially if the players on the bench stand up.
As Trevor Linden just came back and got a cheer from partisan crowd, really, I think they're probably rooting for Vancouver.
Yeah, I would say that as the game progressed, Vancouver got a little more support than the Mighty Ducks. It certainly must not feel like a home game for either team.
For the record, it's the home game for Vancouver. Tomorrow, the Mighty Ducks will be the home team.
Which just means, in a nutshell, that they get a chance to change last change.
Sandstrom didn't see the pass. Solani did, but then they checked him, and the puck floated back outside the line into center ice. Score is still a one-goal game, 3-2. Vancouver Canucks looking for the 2 points.
Mr. Bettman a couple of days ago and asked him if there's any chance of me coaching team holdout. I was going to make you my assistant. We have a pretty good hockey team, wouldn't we? Our payroll might be pretty jolly, though. 10 or 12 players that are not with the respective team that could help any team.
Their face-off coming to the right. Hebert in the nets for Anaheim. Kalinkov is the backup goalie for the Mighty Ducks. Bure, the backup for Kirk McLean tonight. McLean hasn't had too much work here in the third period. He might be tested now with Young. Rebound! And another chance, and McLean stays there, and the puck is frozen. Boy, no sooner do we say Kirk McLean has not had too much work. He's tested big time.
Well, he makes a couple of stops on this one, and this is the best chance the Ducks have had in the third period. They've only had 1 or 2 scoring opportunities. Some good hustle right here to beat the slow Vancouver defense. There's one stop, and there's a better stop on the rebound. And finally, the puck's cleared away. 1 stop, 2, and the score is still tied. And thank Mr. McLean for that.
For a one-goal game. Vancouver hanging on to a 3-2 lead. Time winding down here in the third. Under 6 minutes left. Game 1. Game 2 tomorrow. We're here again. Second half of the Hockey Night in Canada doubleheader. Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Islanders. Long Island, New York in Game 1. pregame show, don't forget, at 7 o'clock Eastern to start it off. And then a full night of hockey for you, capping it with the second half of the doubleheader from Tokyo.
Well, there's the sentiment that many Duck fans have. Don't be goofy, sign Korea. That's a message to the Disney Corporation, I'm sure. And when both Selanne and Korea play, the Ducks are 50 wins, 29 losses, and 14 ties. And when only one plays, they are 3-13-2.
What does that tell you?
That tells you that they are a wonderful pair, number 2 and number 3 in NHL scoring, and Korea only played 69 games last year after sitting out the first 9 or 10 because coming off an injury. And Timo Selanne, second in Lady Bing voting, second in NHL scoring, and you, Bob, have taught the Japanese fans the way. Nice going.
They got it down to a fine point, I'll tell you that. Look at this. It's marvelous. Yoyogi Arena in Tokyo. Face-off, won by Vancouver. Puck shot in deep behind the net. Linden chasing. He has it. Trevor Linden knocked down. Gets back up. But the Ducks put it by him and get it out. Again, Linden steals it from center ice. Shot in by Stale. And Jelena hopping away from a check. Again, Linden and Jelena. They can't get in position for a shot, and the Ducks just barely get it back out to center. Again, they knock it in. 4:50 remaining in the third period. Vancouver leading 3-2. Treble behind the net, gets it ahead through center ice. Chance in front. Knudsen went off to the right side, really, and couldn't cut back in. Walker for Vancouver. Lifted a high one into the right of the net again, and Karpa has plenty of time. He saw Antoski open. Dropped it back. Aronov checked. Naslund stays with him, but he got the puck in. Big crowd back there, and they can't keep it in. Anaheim. Murray nearly intercepted that pass. And Toski gets up over the line, and Burry coming back to pick it up for Vancouver. Burry pass behind his man. And Toski looking for it. The shot by Reichel deflected. And Aronov stopped it near center ice. Under 4 minutes left in the third. Robert coming in. Low, weak shot. No problem for Hebert. Anaheim will move it fast. Jansen gets to the line and over it. The pass to the right. Wayne got his arm up as Selanne came in. Selanne again. Shot it. That's blocked and cleared. Vancouver back to their heels a little bit now. But Selanne showing great signs of maybe tying it. He came close.
Well, we often show offensive highlights on Pavel Bure, but in an attempt to keep this one-goal lead alive, Pavel does some nice work back-checking here on the most dangerous of all Mighty Ducks, Timo Selanne, forcing him to the outside, and Selanne gets, by his standards, a very weak shot away, with Bure hanging all over him.
Anaheim has had 13 shots on goal in this period. There was another maybe off at an angle. Couldn't tell that one was on the net or not, but McLean was taking no chances, of course. One-goal lead for Vancouver with 3 minutes left in the third period. That's Sandstrom trying to poke it back out front. He did. Ducks get away with it and get it out to center ice. Walker coming after it. Walker again, centered it. Linden tried to one-time it. It was blocked, and away comes Knudsen. He's alone on the rush, though. Anaheim was changing. Easily picked off by Walker. Back up the ice for Vancouver. Tried to set one up over through the slot area. Jelena was there. Now Walker looking for Jelena, who's out in front of the goal. There he is. Jelena flipped it back to Walker. Walker left it in the corner. It will be the Ducks picking it up and skating it out. Young fired a pass through center. Dolis trying to give it back to Young, but he was checked. Now 2 minutes left to play in the third period. Vancouver 3, Anaheim 2. Ducks pressing. Dolis, puck behind him, banked off the boards and got out. Bobby Dolis again at his own blue line. Some time to play it ahead. In front was Bohannes. Now Dolis again. The pass to Ruchin. It goes right on with the Mighty Duck player hauled down, trying to get in. And an icing call coming up against Vancouver.
Icing Vancouver. Steve Stayoff, the Vancouver defenseman, limped to the bench about a minute ago while the rush was going the other way. He's back on the ice now, trying it out. I don't know what happened to him, but he apparently doesn't feel as good as he'd like as he goes back to the bench. Either hurting his leg. Still doesn't look like he's completely healthy. 17 points in 63 games last year. Was picked up on waivers from the Boston Bruins by the Canucks.
Only a minute and a half left to play in the third period, and we'll keep our eye on Guy Hebert. He's down to our right.
One thing for sure, Bob, not one fan is left with a minute 32 to go.
Hasn't been a real fast-paced hockey game. They'll be more careful. Remember now, it's just their first game of the regular season. And as you pointed out earlier, there are always some jitters in a first game for both teams.
That's less when the game's not at home. Home openers are tough to play. Look at the poor Oilers. They got whacked 8-2 tonight by Detroit right in Edmonton, and Calgary got badly beaten at home. There's a little extra pressure in that first game, and if you lose it, the pressure transfers to the second game. So
here's a chance. Hebert knocked that one away on a great bid by Walker. He skated through and could have put this game away. He got the first goal of the game. Unassisted effort in the first period at 12-10. And he nearly right there got the last one maybe. But 1:05 remaining now. Hebert wants to leave the net. He got 15 feet out. Now he starts to move, but Vancouver will have the puck and he'll stay on. The Ducks would love to get the extra man on. Hebert stops it for Marinov. He's moving it to the left side, and Daniel will get the zone from center. Here goes Hebert this time. He has now hit the bench, and the Mighty Ducks have the extra man on. And there he is. Young took the shot. Lot empty net, remember, down the other way. There goes Burry with a great burst of speed. And I believe he touched the puck. What a great effort by Pavel Burry. No icing because of that effort. And only 18 seconds remaining. The Ducks are up there. Burry steals it. Ducks it on the boards to center ice. What a shot Burry is having. The crowd going wild with that puck rolling in. And just wide. Look at Burry in there again. Time winding down, though. McLean, one more stop. Vancouver will win a hockey game. They have defeated the Mighty Ducks in Anaheim 3-2. And this first game here in Tokyo, a close one and a great finish.
Well, the Mighty Ducks gave it a big effort in the last 7 or 8 minutes of the third period. That means they have never won an opening game in the National Hockey League. They are 0 for 5. We'll be back tomorrow to bring you Game 2 of this doubleheader in Tokyo as the Canucks win the opener.
The Molson Cup 3-star is coming up. Pavel Burry, when he catches his breath, what a shift he had to help preserve the win, as did Kirk McLean. Vancouver wins this first game.
Ducks win 3-2 to earn the 2 points this evening. The Molson 3-stars, Anaheim Scott Young, number 3. Kirk McLean, his 11th opening game start in a row. And Ichiban, Pavel Bure is the #1 star, and he's with Scott Russell.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ron. Pavel Bure, indeed, the first star in this game. How did it feel out there in Japan?
Well, I think we're really happy right now. We won the game, and that's what's more important. But it was really hot out there, and I think we're really tired now, so we have to get rest.
What about your team? How did you feel the way it came together here on a long, long road trip?
I think we played pretty well, and as a team, everybody were working hard, and kind of bad we were missing Mark for 2 periods, but other guys play really well, and I think we're satisfied with the performance we had.
I rode the subway with you the other day. How have you enjoyed this whole experience in Tokyo?
Well, it was great. It kind of reminded me of my old back days when I was in Moscow when I was a kid and I had to take subway every day. So, but it was a great experience, and like I said, it's great.
Let's talk about your goal and that one-time shot that came to you. How did you feel about it and the way it developed?
Well, I kind of tried to be third man high, and I've seen Marcus had a puck, and I just yelled him really loud, and he heard me, thank God. So it was a good pass and I just one-timer.
Hey, Pavel, I know you kept everybody waiting for a while about making this trip, but they're glad you did. Congratulations.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott.
Pavel Bure, back to you, Ron.
All right, Scott, thanks a lot. And if you're due the season, the first of his career as a head coach, he spoke to Dick Irvin.
This is the game puck from the match here tonight in Boston between the Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. Let it be noted that Alain Vigneault's name has been put on by Vincent Damphousse, the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, because for Alain Vigneault, this puck, which I will give you now, and you won't let it go, I'm sure, for a while, represents your first win as a head coach of the National Hockey League. Congratulations, Alain.
Thank you, sir.
The game, your comment on it, the way it went.
Well, more important, I think, than the result, even though I got the puck, is the effort that we got from our players tonight. I think it was a solid effort. We saw some little things that, as coaches, you enjoy to see. Players blocking some shots, taking a little bit of pain for the team. We saw some good battles one-on-one. And our specialty teams were really effective. Our PK was outstanding tonight, and our power play scored 2 big goals, tone setters, and I think it was an all-around honest effort. Even some guys that weren't on the score sheet, I'm thinking of Vincent Damphousse tonight, who, even though he might not have gotten any points, played a solid defensive game, and for us it's a start. We've got a lot of things to work on. We're going to keep doing it.
You took over a team, Alain, that really, they didn't change from last year, which wasn't a happy year for the Montreal Canadiens, with the exception of Andy Moe. Not a bad exception, mind you, the way he played tonight. Your approach to it, based on that?
Well, basically what we're trying to do is establish a work ethic. We think that it's very important that our players understand that to be successful, there's a huge amount of work that has to be done, and to do that, we've been stressing a lot of things on the ice and off the ice. We've also introduced a system that we feel if we apply, we can be successful. And we're slowly but surely getting into the final part of that system, which is accepting your role. Some players right now have different roles than they've been used to in the past. All roles, all contribution to teams are very important, but they have to accept it if we want our team to be successful.
Well, obviously they were successful tonight with the 4-1 win in Boston. Again, congratulations, Alain. Many more to come in your career.
Thank you.
Alain Vigneault, head coach of the winning Canadiens tonight here in Boston.
Thank you. Congratulations, Alain. Thanks a lot. Dick, a big weekend in the CFL, too. There's a real logjam in the West. BC had a chance today to set the tone for the Stamps and the Esks, but failed to do so. With more, here's Mark Lee.
Thanks, Ron. Well, a story here at the Sky Dome today. For the 8th week in a row, the Argos win, and they win convincingly. Even one of the best teams in the West are no match for them today.
Well, it's pinball. I mean, let's change the name of this team from the Toronto Argonauts to the Toronto Pinballers. This guy does it all. The only thing he didn't do is lead the team in tackles on defense, but he does special teams. Runs the ball, catches the ball. Watch this play. It's a counter play. Gets great block from his offensive line. Finds a seam. Takes it 47 yards for a touchdown. Second touchdown of the game for Pinball Clemens.
He had 3 in total and 301 all-purpose yards and went through 2 pairs of shoes. And even the backups were good today.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when you got a lead like this, you can afford to do this. They got guys in here. The ball is tipped right now. Watch Brendan Rodgers, number 35, thinks he's going to get the catch, but no, Lester Smith says, I want it to. Knocks the big guy down. Good things happen. He gets up smiling. Works out okay. They're all having fun in Toronto right now.
Everything went well for the Argos today. They win 46-3. Tomorrow, it's a battle for first in the West. The Eskimos and the Stampeders. For more on that, here's Don Whitman.
Well, Mark, it's tough to recall when a game this first weekend in October was as important to the Western Conference standings as this fourth matchup of the season between the Eskimos and the Stampeders. The winner will probably finish in first place in the West. The loser could drop to third. Both quarterbacks, Jeff Garcia of the Stampeders and Danny McManus of the Eskimos, realize the importance of this game. The Eskimos haven't won in their last 3 starts. As a matter of fact, the last time they won was here at Commonwealth Stadium on September 5th when they beat the Stampeders. And Eskimo quarterback Danny McManus shoulders much of the blame for the team's slump.
I think most of it comes down to just my position at quarterback. I'm responsible for the plays that are being called, and when I call them, I'm the one that really has to make the execution of doing my job. The biggest part is last week I got into trouble trying to do too much, trying to make things happen. But our offensive guys, the other 11 guys on the unit, are, they're out there busting their tails. It's just a matter after each play, it seems like one guy's having a breakdown, and last week a lot of the breakdowns were myself.
The Eskimos have won 2 of the previous 3 meetings, including the last time they met September 5th here at Commonwealth.